Remember, if you like what we're doing here, make sure to give us a positive rating on iTunes, Google Podcasts, or wherever you listen to the show. Also, make sure to check out the YouTube channel at youtube.com/iwantandrew, where full recordings of this podcast are posted along with a plethora of other videos. Check it out today, and thank you for listening. Now, on to the show. I see what you mean. I got you.
I got you all self-conscious now.
Well, greetings all. Welcome to the Gaming Block Podcast, the number one podcast for all the pertinent video game news spanning across all platforms, including Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo, and more. I am your host, Andrew Rana, and today I am joined by the bad boys of video games, Jake Ward and Roger Bennon. On this week's episodes, we will be discussing how broken CyberPunk 2077 is, all of the announcements from the Game Awards, all of them, and of course our predictions of who won the Game Awards. But before all that, tradition dictates how that I ask the bad boys how they are doing.
I'm doing pretty bad.
Doing pretty bad?
But in the 90s bad.
Yeah. I like the bad boys anagram. Oh, what did I made a name for Matthew and Levi today.
Yeah?
That's what it was. I called them the Scholar Ballers now.
What are Roger and I?
You and Roger are the bad boys.
Okay.
Yeah,
dude.
You're the bad boys of video games. And Levi and Matthew.
Flop out dropouts.
Flop out drop. I mean, keep working and we could get somewhere with that. But I think it adds to the brand because, if we ever start having guests or something in there, people will be like, hey, I really like the bad boys take on this. Or maybe they'll be like, hey, I really miss the bad boys of gaming.
Why don't we be your two lovely uncles?
Nope. Okay. And actually, speaking of
uncles.
Speaking of the Scholar Ballers, they might be on soon. We might have a 5-person podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe. Levi has CyberPunk, and he's been playing it.
Yeah.
And then Matthew has some input on some Xbox stuff. So we might.
We need someone.
Yeah, we might have a special episode where they come on.
But you get it on PS5 or do you get it on PS4 or Xbox?
Series X. Or no, Xbox One. He doesn't have a Series X. He has an Xbox One.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. So, but I think he's planning on getting it.
Bro, nothing works on Xbox One anymore nowadays. I've noticed that.
It's so sad.
Nothing's worked on Xbox for a long time.
Roger, how are you doing?
I'm doing okay. Getting over sickness.
Let's say I heard you were a little ill. It was not COVID.
It was not COVID. Yeah, tested and secured. It's not that. I'm too much of a manly man for COVID.
Well, they have that fancy vaccine rolling out now, so our COVID worries are soon to be behind us, it seems.
They're done and over with.
That's what they say.
In a perfect world, to be able to take masks off as soon as you got the shot.
I mean, I don't think I ever really put them on to begin with, so it'd be kind of hard for me to take it off.
Yeah. My mask has melted to my face, so it's always a part of me now.
No one cared who it was until I put on the mask.
Take it off. Will it kill you?
No. I think that's a Spider-Man reference or something.
Okay.
Well, anyways, with that in mind, it is once again time for everyone's favorite segment, the gaming riddle. Roger, hit us with the theme. All right, thank you. Today's riddle goes as follows. It's kind of a riddle. I think it rhymes once or twice. Okay, are the bad boys ready?
I guess so.
Released November 11th, 2003. My game was just like Call of Duty. I'm on GameCube, PS2, and Xbox, but never ported. An FPS, but with no stress. My franchise is alive to this day. Roger, you get to go first.
I'm so happy about it.
You can either ask a question.
You know what my problem is you guys are really good with like dates and stuff, and I'm not. I'm really bad with it.
No,
My game was just like,
I'm good with dates with games, not with women.
Ooh,
yeah. Well,
me
that's,
neither.
you're still one up on me, bud. So, uh,
You can ask a
game.
question or you can guess the game.
My game was just like Call of Duty. I'm on GameCube, PS2, and Xbox, but never ported an FPS, but with
Never
no
ported.
breath. Franchise is like, I don't know.
Roger,
Is it Medal
you're
of
telling me
Honor?
you don't know this?
What was that,
It's
Roger?
the first thing I think of when people compare games to Call of Duty is Medal of Honor. Is it that?
Yes, it is.
Oh, cool.
It is in metal. It is. I mean, it's in the franchise. Yes.
Oh, I have to guess
Um,
which Medal of Honor game? Oh,
Yep. And it's Jake's turn now.
I mean, it's quite simple. It's attacking the power of Juju.
You know, you joke about that. I have that game.
Yeah,
I do. I don't even know how I got it. It was just like I distinctly remember always walking into the garage, and it was like, this isn't a nice garage. It's one that's not like ventilator or not ventilated. Has like you know, it's cold in there. It's
yeah.
damp in there. You know, it's
It's
kind of like
dank.
it's a little dank garage. And there's always this box of wires, and right on the top was Tack and the Power of Juju.
It was summoned into your life.
And I'm like,
Did
I
you
always
make
saw
that?
this game, and then eventually I just grabbed it, and I was like, I'll take it. So it's probably
That was
cursed.
always
Did
the
they make
game
that
I
for
saw. Like,
Nickelodeon series or something? Or did
yeah,
the series come
eventually.
out first?
The games I
Yeah.
think were first, and then the series came out.
Is that what happened?
Yeah, because I remember like it was a movie gallery game for the longest time, and then the show appeared on Nickelodeon, so I had prior knowledge of it before the show.
Gotcha. I know.
Like it's kind of like a Sonic Boom situation.
Understood. Jake,
Yeah,
do you have a guess of the game or a question?
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell
I
you
know
right now.
exactly.
The only Medal of Honor I know is the first one and Warfighter. I don't know any other names.
Really?
Yeah,
Ooh, well, this might be hard. Go ahead.
Medal of Honor, Honor Wars.
Is that your guess?
Yeah, I don't know.
It is not that. Roger, your turn.
Medal of Honor for Honor, Valhalla.
Oh my gosh, no, it's not. Jake.
Medal of Honor, Revengeance, Rising.
No. Nope. Close.
Medal of
Roger.
Honor, the bad guy.
That was your last guess? No, it's not. Jake?
Medal of Honor, Sunshine.
No, dude, holy shit. Okay, so you didn't get that. And on the scoreboard, I put my name and I put a 1. Now, your last guess was Vengeance Rising. And then the guess. Okay, so the guess before that was Vengeance Rising. And then the guess right there, what'd you say? Something.
I said Medal of Honor, Sunshine.
Know what it is?
What?
It is Medal of Honor Rising Sun.
Oh, see, so I got it.
You were so close. That is wild.
Listen, I'm the one that gets Medal of Honor, so if anybody should be the close one, it should be me.
Wait, I wonder. I have a PC pack of Medal of Honor games here.
I don't think it's on PC.
I got Spearhead, Airborne, Allied Assault, Pacific Assault, and Breakthrough. Those would have been my other guesses.
The ones I know
the 10th anniversary set.
I know Medal of Honor. I know Medal of Honor Pacific Assault. I know Medal of Honor Airborne, Rising Sun, Frontline, which was the other GameCube, PS2, Xbox game. Those were kind of like in tandem together. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, the reboot and then Warfighter. And then the new one that just came out like 4 days ago was Above and Beyond, the VR game. So
that looks kind of interesting. The only one I ever really sat down and played and got really into was the remake, surprisingly, for no reason.
The remake's not terrible.
I didn't care for the remake when I played through it because
I don't care for it. I don't know why I got
couldn't pass because one of the guys would just like not move. And I'm like, okay, well, I literally had to like just stop playing the game, and I came back to it like a week later, and then it worked. I really got reset it and everything like over and over again. The same guy would just stand in my way and not let me progress forward. And then I got to a part where I was getting shot from like the cliff sides all around me, and my cover kept getting whittled away slowly and slowly.
I know
exactly.
I know exactly what part you're talking about too.
Yeah, you're like in these ruins.
Yeah,
they just keep getting destroyed.
I didn't beat that game either.
That's
Medal of
as
Honor
far
is
as I
an
got.
interesting one because it's like one of the first big FPSs, and of course everyone knows that Call of Duty came out and kind of outdid Medal of Honor and
You mean
stole its
Halo?
lunch. Well, I mean, Halo was the first. I mean, yeah, it's hard because Halo is just iterative off of Medal of Honor. Medal of Honor was back on PS1. Like
Yeah.
this game is
Well, I
old.
mean, like, yeah, it was like Halo invented the way we play modern shooters.
Well, yeah, but Halo.
Other than the first-person shooting mechanics, like you really can't compare those games a whole lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
I'll say
mean,
the remake just tried really hard to be Modern Warfare.
Yeah, I know it was not good, and then Warfighter was even worse.
Mm-hmm.
It's terrible.
Well, isn't there like a cop one, like Hardline, or is that Battlefield? Okay,
That Hardline actually wasn't a bad game.
No, it wasn't. It was actually kind of cool. Medal of Honor went dormant until this year. 2013 with Warfighter was the last release until Above and Beyond, which has been met with mixed reviews. It's like sitting around that 6-7 range. Apparently, it's cool set pieces, but it's not really made well together. It's kind of like you play a 10-15 minute segment loading screen.
Just having an online first-person shooter like team deathmatch is just kind of interesting in VR.
Yeah. I'm more in it for the story and the set pieces. So, like, you know, you have D-Day, you get to be a paratrooper, you're in like the snow mountains and stuff. Like, they really take you everywhere in the war, at least the European theater. So, I don't know. I'm gonna get it eventually, but apparently it's also pretty demanding on your PC. Like, you need a pretty good PC.
What about your Oculus Quest 2?
It's not on Quest. It's PC only. Like, it's really demanding.
So this is kind of non sequitur to our conversation, but I just got an email from one of my eBay listings about the Skylander amiibo I'm selling, and it was like, can these two characters be played on them with the PS4? And I'm like, no, just Nintendo. And they're like, okay, thanks, I'll keep looking. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, I guess that is gaming related. Jake is abandoning his complete collection of amiibos, and he is. Well, no, I'm not saying all of them, but your quest to own every amiibo has come to an end.
It has. It's fruitless, and I don't have the space, and I don't care to buy all of them. As soon as they introduced that Diablo amiibo, I was like, I'm out.
That was it. That was the straw that broke the camel's back.
Honestly, that game, it was a GameStop exclusive. It looked stupid, and I was just like, nah.
That's so funny. We were just talking about Diablo 2.
Yeah, we were.
Yeah.
Right before you got on.
Wow. Yep. I was leaving a little Diablo in the bathroom while you guys were talking.
That actually segues right into our next segment, what we've been playing. Roger, you can go ahead and tell the people. You've been playing Diablo, correct?
Yeah, Roger. Have you been playing Diablo?
I have been playing Diablo, believe it or not.
Which one?
Diablo 3. I like all of them.
Who's the best one?
They all have their things, in my opinion. I know that's the popular thing to say. Oh, Diablo is the best one. I don't know. It's good. I wouldn't say it's the best one.
I think when 3 launched, 2 was still the best one, but the way that they've rebuilt 3 and made it
3 is really fun to sit down and grind for me. And
you can play as Ganondorf in the Switch version.
You can. Why would you buy the Switch version of Diablo 3?
You'd have to play as Ganondorf.
Dude, I have a friend that gave me the Switch version of Diablo 3. I need to pop it in and try it out.
Wow. Yeah. It's been on sale so many times lately, and it's never on sale on the Xbox. So like, I can never buy it so we can play together.
I swear to God, every time I check, it's on sale. So I'm gonna have to like keep an eye out for you or something, because apparently I'm seeing it when you're not.
I need to get gold too. I guess Game Pass Ultimate that comes with gold, right?
Yep.
It's $1 right now.
Essentially the same thing.
3 months. Okay.
But I don't know. It's weird. It says for new users, you could try it. I would absolutely try it, but I heard that people that have canceled and then are coming back, they don't get the 3-month thing.
Well, that's just wrong.
Yeah, I know. You can't just keep taking advantage of it.
I got like a whole year for $1 last time.
I know.
And it was supposed to be a month.
You could try it again. It never hurts to keep trying, but
yeah. I mean, I don't know. I guess I give up now.
That's good to hear, Roger. I'm glad you're playing some games. Jake, what have you been playing?
So I platinumed Spider-Man Remastered.
Nice.
That's all done.
Which platinum number is that?
4.
Nice.
So my platinums consist of Spider-Man, Astrobot, Spider-Man Miles Morales, and Spider-Man Remastered.
Are you kidding me? Three of
That's a
your
good,
four
that's a
Spider-Man.
good record
Yeah.
right there.
Hey, you know what though? That's awesome because with the PS5, you've already platinum 3 games on it.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's great. So
Oh,
hopefully
and
more.
how long has it been since it came out? Like a month, almost to the date.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
November 12th, I
that's
think. Yeah, because it came out the
right there.
19th in Europe. So yeah, the 12th. It's been a month and 1 day since the PS5 release, and you haven't even had it that long. I guess you played it on mine though. So
Yeah, I played. I never beat anything on yours though. I
no,
played
but
Miles. Well, no, I think I beat Miles on yours.
you got. Yeah, I think you did because you did the
Um,
second playthrough. The rest of it on yours.
And then I beat. I played Astrobot and Spider-Man Remastered for the first time on mine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So well, that's good.
And now I'm starting up Gravity Rush for like the third or fourth time, and I'm gonna finally sit
yeah.
down and play through it.
One of the crown jewels of Vita Island. Um, I need to make a list one day of top Vita games because there's a lot of them, and Gravity Rush definitely is somewhere on that list. I don't know if it's top 5 or top 10, but it's definitely like top 20.
Where would you put Golden Abyss?
Uncharted?
Mm-hmm. I'm assuming Persona 4 Golden is going to be your number one.
Yeah, obviously. Uncharted probably top 10, around that 8 to 10 range probably. It's really good. I don't like a lot of the gimmicks that it did because it did everything. Used the back touchpad, used the motion controls. There's one puzzle where you had to shine the camera to the sun or to a light source to see something.
So you're
Like
saying I can't play it on the PlayStation TV?
no, you cannot. They really went all out in that. They wanted all the features of the Vita, which that's another thing I want to talk about one day is just so much wasted potential and then also too much gimmick on that thing. Like they should have just made a handheld.
I feel like the back touchpad was a bad idea.
Yeah, just make a PSP with another analog stick. Boom, perfect.
And triggers.
And triggers, yeah. Which
instead of like a shared bumper button.
3DS was able to put a trigger and a bumper
And a C stick.
And a C stick, yeah. Well, I mean, that was kind of garbage.
It's like when you get those I like ThinkPads with a little orange nub in the center of the keyboard. That's about what it was.
Yeah, it was. God, thank God they. I mean, I guess they still do that, but it's not popular anymore. Thank God.
Wireless mice are like $5. Why would you use it?
Yeah. I'm glad that you're playing Gravity Rush, though. I hope you get through it and play it.
Uh-huh.
I've only been playing one game, and that's Yakuza Like a Dragon.
Do you feel like a dragon yet?
I'm around the 20-hour mark. Thankfully, it does have an in-game clock, and I think I just passed like 1930 or something. And I'm on chapter 5, I think, out of, I don't know, 16, 19, something right there. So I'm still kind of near the beginning of the game, and I like it a lot. I'm doing everything, every mini game I come across. I'm like, okay, let's 100% this mini game, get S rank on everything. I spend an hour and a half collecting cans. So yeah, it's pretty freaking great. It still has that Yakuza charm.
You know you're hooked on a game bad.
Huh?
That's when you know you're hooked on a game pretty badly right there.
Yeah, when you're... Hey,
that was the nice thing is like the night I finished Spider-Man Remastered, I got to experience the performance ray tracing update they did, and that really made a difference graphically. I think it looks way better, and I wish I could have played the whole thing that way.
Yeah, Yakuza Like a Dragon does not have any PS5 enhancements. This is a straight PS4 port because I don't know, Microsoft bought some exclusivity on the next gen version. It's next gen on Xbox Series X, but PS5 we're not getting that till like March or April.
Why didn't you buy Series X?
Because PlayStation is better. But yeah, that's what I've been playing. I'm probably gonna keep playing that for I don't know the forthcoming weeks.
Yeah,
it's gonna take me probably around Christmas break when I have a lot more time off. I'll plow through it and get through it. I don't know if I'll platinum it. I've never platinumed the Yakuza game. They're notoriously long and difficult, or not even difficult. It's just time consuming because you have to do everything. You have to 100% everything. You have to 100% poker.
Oh my God,
it's insane.
Not even the best people in real life have 100%ed poker.
I know, right? It's crazy. So, but yeah, that's what
Not
I've
even
been.
Mr. Jack Black.
Dude, while we've been talking, I just had a friend buy me Phasmophobia on Steam.
Nice,
dude. Can you buy it for me now? Can you pay it forward?
Yeah, I can in about a month. Yeah.
I bought you Among Us. That's got to be about equal, right?
I mean, it's still cheap. It's not that far off.
Honestly, yeah.
No, I don't expect anything from you, Roger.
Phasmophobia won an award, which we'll get to soon.
That way, when I do get you something, you'll be pleasantly surprised.
Dude, I need to play Ghost Runner. I just looked at my Epic's library and I saw it was sitting in there.
Yeah, you do need to play that and get back to us on it.
Yeah.
So the fun question is there anything else you guys been playing and want to go around about?
No, I haven't had the energy to play anything else.
Yeah,
I feel that.
I just was like fully committed to
Spider-Man.
I really want to play Danganronpa, but since Susan's playing it and it seems like it's kind of popular to play right now, I don't want to just.
No, you don't want to play because it's popular. You don't want to be that guy that plays because it's popular.
That's another game that would be on the Vita top 20. Danganronpa, absolutely. Danganronpa 2, definitely, definitely. Yeah.
Also, Roger, did you see you can play as the Master Chief in Fortnite?
Yeah. Did you see the trailer for that? It was a red versus blue skit.
Yeah,
I loved it.
And you have to buy
ninja in it. I was like, oh my god.
You have to buy all of them. They're like $12 each.
It's crazy. So we're going to move on to our fun question of the week. And this question, I know we get a little scandalous sometimes with our questions, but this one is pretty straightforward, boys. The question is, which would you rather have? Cake or pie?
Probably pie. I'm not a big cake guy.
All right.
I like both quite a bit, but I really like apple pie. Although, I don't know, it's weird. If you give me that buttercream frosting cake, I'll be pretty happy. But apple pie just hits different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think pie is probably my answer. I know some people that don't like pie.
I used to not like pie. Lately, I've really been liking apple pie.
I'm just not a big cake fan. It's really, what's the word? It's thick.
You only have so much of it, you know. You get like a slice and you're like good. Yeah, you get like a slice and your sugar overdose.
Yeah.
I like shortcake and cheesecake, but when I think of cake, it's like birthday cake or ice cream cake's good.
Ice cream cake is good. Cookie cake is good.
Versions of cake are good.
Yeah, but cake itself,
cake. Like if you said like a velvet cake in front of me, I'd be like, "Oh, that looks good." But
I mean, if
you afterwards,
if you give me a strawberry or chocolate or velvet cake or anything, I'm gonna eat it. Especially with frosting, you get that good. I think it's Pillsbury has that frosting. Good frosting. I'll take it. But even then, that cake is kind of more light and fluffy. The problem is everyone. It's like Roger said before, likes that really sugary, like they like that sugar high burst. And it's like, it's too much, guys. Mm-hmm. We gotta calm down. We gotta take a step back here.
You give me like a really good pumpkin pie.
Now the pie, you gotta make sure when you're making a pie or you're buying a pie that the filling to crust ratio is on. Because if you have a pie they are a lot harder to, because a cake, it's like, this is a cake. Maybe one is a little thicker than the other, but at the end of the day, it's a cake. But a pie, if you have crust that's too thick, it kind of ruins the experience. Or too thin, then it's all falling apart. It's like I might as well just be slurping down the filling cup or whatever.
I baked you a pie. What flavor? Pie flavor.
All right, it's 1482 in here.
Genius over here.
All right, well, with that in mind, we're going to move right on into the news of a week. We only have 2 headlines this week, but I guess technically we have 3. We have 3 headlines this week, but boys, there's some big ones. It's going to be a long ride. Jake, hit us with the theme.
Doo-doo.
All right. You guys are disappointing me
every day. Are on
the first one is CyberPunk 2077 is absolutely broken. The highly anticipated
about this.
That's a controversial opinion.
Oh, I don't think it is at all. The highly anticipated title from CD Projekt Red is here, and it looks like we finally know why it kept getting delayed. The game is, in layman's terms, broken. Especially on legacy consoles. The original PS4 and Xbox One seem to be the worst off, with frame rates consistently below 30, sometimes even below 20, constant crashes, textures not loading, animations glitching, and many other bugs. The PS4 Pro and Xbox One X aren't too much better off. While they can hold a consistent 30 frames, the crashes, animation bugs, glitches, and pop-ins are still pretty bad. PS5 fares better than the legacy consoles with its 60 frames a second, albeit still having the bugs and glitches, and Xbox Series X seems to be the best off when it comes to other consoles, with it ever so slightly being better than PS5, although I am now seeing information that is refuting that and saying that PS5 runs better. The PC community has predictably been a mixed reaction. Anyone with a 2080 seems to be in the same ballpark as console players, anyone below a 2080. Those who do have the supercomputers are still finding the game to be a broken mess with crashes and glitches galore. CD Projekt Red has said that they know that the games are in the best of shape and that they are working hard to get more patches out. None of this should be too much of a surprise, seeing as CD Projekt Red didn't give out any early codes to console players and only showed off PC gameplay for the past couple years now. Famous YouTuber Yang Ya said that while he was reviewing the game, CD Projekt Red didn't even allow him to use his own capture footage of the complete mess the game is in. Along all this, along with the recent controversy within the company, is not painting the best picture for the game studio. It currently sits at a 35 on Metacritic for PS4 with a 2.5 user rating, and around a 50 on Xbox One with a 3.0 user rating, and at a 90 on PC with a 6.5 user rating.
Wow, I didn't
Me
realize it was that low.
There were a couple other things. CD Projekt Red originally had bonuses incentivized if the game got above a 90 on Metacritic. It sits at a 90 right now on PC, but they have said that they will be giving those bonuses out anyways, regardless of the Metacritic score. And then they also announced, or they have released many patches, many gigabytes patches, but it seems that it is more or less not really fixing a lot of the problems. It's fixing some, but a lot of the game breaking problems are still there.
That's
Jake,
good.
did I miss anything? Was there anything else that we should have involved or thrown in?
Don't buy it now.
All right. What a pregnant pause. Yeah, first off, I want to say hashtag Andrew was right. On this very podcast, I had been saying for months now, ever since they announced that first delay, after it went gold, I was like, there's something very wrong with this game.
Yeah, that
Like,
was a bad sign.
you do not delay a game after it's gone gold unless it is broken. And sure enough, it is a broken piece of trash.
Well,
And we can
aren't
get
you proud of
into,
yourself for guessing that, huh? Are
I'm
you happy that all these people are sad with their broken game?
I am, because a company shouldn't be doing this, regardless of who you are. I just want to take a step back here for a second, because there's a lot to dissect with this. There's the fanboys defending it to Lord's End. There's the issue with the console versions and the PC versions and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But I just want to take a step back and say first off that CD Projekt Red, I have lost so much respect for them, because regardless of what your sales numbers are and your quotas are and things like that, for you to have the audacity to release a game, especially on PS4 and Xbox One, and I don't want to hear the excuse that, oh, they're old consoles or anything like that. These games were made for these consoles. And if you recall, this game was supposed to release in April when the newer gen consoles weren't even out. So it was supposed to release on PC, PS4, and Xbox One. And even on new gen, it's backwards compatible. They're not even the full versions.
Mm-hmm.
So they had the audacity to release this game that sits at a 2.5 user rating and a 3.0 user rating. And I know Metacritic user ratings are kind of like, oh, well, those get bombarded all the time, things like that. People don't like it. They go in, and Last of Us 2 got attacked by the low user ratings. But I actually went through and read it, and of course, we also see online. It seems like these user ratings are justified this time.
I mean,
And
as far as like, it's so bad, like the issues with it, that I was watching a like legit just created to compare the way the graphics look on the PS4 and the PS5, or not. Sorry, not just that, but like against console and PC. That was the comparison, and they couldn't get good footage of either of them without something breaking in the background when they were comparing the exact same scenes together.
yeah,
Like, there was one
it's
scene they were showing on PC versus the console, and there was like, I'm assuming it's supposed to be sprite versions of environmental objects, like in the distance, are getting priority in the foreground when they're supposed to be in the background while they're inside of a building.
Yeah.
So it just is all sorts of messed up.
I know a lot of people have been comparing this to like Skyrim, Fallout 4, Fallout 76, Mass Effect Andromeda,
Bad
some
games.
other Ubisoft, some Assassin's Creed games and things like that. And honestly, just personally, I haven't played this game yet. I have not played Cyberpunk yet, but from just anecdotal evidence, this looks like it is one of the worst AAA games to ever release. Ever.
I'd go as far as calling it a AA game.
At this point, it seems like, and that's the whole. This is a grander argument of was CD Projekt Red even like suited to do this? Did they
Well, and I
bite
think
off more than they could
just
chew?
it just got way overhyped as well. Like
Yeah,
there's no way,
it
even
did.
if it would have came out perfect, it wouldn't have lived up to the hype that it had.
Well, here's the thing: CD Projekt Red's own roster of games are all kind of glitchy, right? Like The Witcher 3 to this day is still kind of a glitchy game, especially the old Witcher games. I mean, they're pretty glitchy too.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like what Andrew said, it doesn't really surprise me because of the whole gold fiasco and then delaying it and whatnot. I was like, oh, that's not good. Yeah,
Yeah.
what's sad is I've heard it's a pretty good game underneath. It's just it's got a lot of issues. I did hear the the other one, the newer consoles do play it better and stuff, but
Mhm.
I don't know. I'll probably do what you said, Jake, and just wait.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's all these people defending it. It's like, yeah, what do you expect? It's a new game, and I'm like, I expect it to work.
Yeah, I
The game
don't
to come out done.
I don't understand the undying fandom of this game. And I know people personally that like defend this game to no end. And I'm like, I don't understand. Wouldn't you expect better from your developers?
Yeah, it's
Like
like so like what? So like the next Breath of the Wild 2, when that comes out, I should expect it to be in the same state as Cyberpunk,
exactly.
where like it just doesn't work. No, it's
Or any game. Like think of all the big releases
like
this year.
like
Like we have
could you imagine if Breath of the Wild 2 comes out and it has as many problems as Cyberpunk, people would tear it apart because that
oh,
game is held up to such a high standard. Like it's just,
but I think
I
even
don't
if
know.
it's not
We have
the
so much expectations out of Nintendo, and
it's
I feel like they're not unreasonable expectations.
but I don't even think that. Like a game can have glitches. A game
Yeah,
can be
I mean
broken.
even Breath of the Wild had some glitches, but it wasn't
When
anything
I
that like, broke the game.
when I was
I
playing Call of
mean,
Duty, the new Black Ops game, it crashed on me a few times. Like it crashed like 5 times or something, and it was annoying. I'm like, this is
yeah,
annoying.
but I
And
think
there,
that was more of a
Call of
PlayStation
Duty
5
had a
issue.
pretty Call of Duty had a pretty bad launch too.
well,
This new
I don't
one.
think I think it was a Call of Duty thing because I was looking it up and it seemed like that was Call of Duty crashing, not
Wasn't there
because
like a glitch on the PS4 version that would just like stop the controller from responding? Like it
Yeah,
just
yeah.
turned
yeah,
off the
it was
controller?
a big problem for a while.
So that's what I'm saying is like
It
Call of
hard
Duty
crashed
had
on Xbox more than a few times.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, like that game had quite a few glitches. It crashed a few times, and it's like well, with that one, it's kind of like, well, okay, they made this game in like a year. It changed development. They're porting it to a whole bunch of consoles. You know, you can kind of make excuses for it, but even then, it was playable at the end. Whenever
Mm-hmm.
it crashed, it didn't consistently crash. It would
No,
crash
yeah, I mean
like,
even Miles Morales had that issue with me.
yeah, like it would crash
Well,
sometimes.
and so not to get like too a little political here or whatnot, but that's the problem when you have like games having to meet like all these like stockholders and whatnot because we're during pandemic, right? So you want to be lenient with them. They're still being forced to push out these games this year and whatnot, and that's causing all
Mm-hmm.
these ass games come out this year specifically. It's like I kind of feel bad for a lot of them because I know it's been a hard year, but
I
they're also making the decision to put out the games when
Yeah,
they're
and the
not
thing is
ready
too, they had like
because of
whole 7
stockholders.
years since the announcement to get
exactly
this
that
game
was
out.
that
That's
was
the
going to be
one
my
reason I want to know like what have
Yeah,
they
I was
been
talking
doing
about
for
more
that
about
7 years?
this year and like general a lot of the broken games, but yeah,
Hmm.
CD Projekt Red.
Like they have
I don't
more
know.
than
I
enough
just
time to get a
whatever goes
playable
on behind the scenes with those guys. Yeah,
because it was
yeah.
supposed to be out in April, which would have been like the first month of
Into
the
COVID,
pandemic.
yeah.
So
And
the fact that they like, huh?
well, I was just
what
going
were
to
you
say,
gonna
yeah,
say?
like
Like
I was going
I
to
want to know what did it look like then? Like
not good.
No
if they've
joke.
been using this whole year to improve it and like delay it and make sure it's up to snuff for launch, I don't even want to know like what it looked like in April.
It was obviously a money thing. CD Projekt Red, they bit off too much. They bit off too much. That's what it was. This
They
was
always do. They
self-published.
always do, though. Every game they do, they just bite off
Oh
more than
no,
they can chew. 'Cause
this,
they're not
this time
AAA, you know what I
this
mean?
time more
They're
than
really
not, because they decided that they self-published it. They didn't have a publishing partner. WB didn't help them. I think WB published it on like console or something, but like they worked on this themselves and they did the distribution
And I kind of
themselves.
like that, right? Like you can kind of respect that and whatnot. And I still respect CD Projekt Red, but yeah, they do that a lot where they try and go grand, and I don't know. Like I'd rather them try and fail, but at the
Is that
same
worth your
time,
money?
yeah. At what I know, right? At what point do you just kind of
I
I don't
don't
know,
know.
right?
I think the point when you start selling a broke, because it's kind of like what Jake said with the Zelda analogy, but I'll give it like a better one is like, imagine if this was an EA game. Like just for a second, imagine if this was an EA game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so if like I mean like those come out broken too. Let's be honest.
But not
Uh,
like this. That's my point. Is like I've never seen a game, even like comparing this to Skyrim, Fallout, like
mhm.
any open world
See,
game.
Skyrim's when those glitches were fun. These ones aren't
Well,
fun.
yeah, these ones aren't fun though. They're broken.
It's
Like
like when a giant walks up to you and smashes you with a club, and you
and you go
go to
flying and
the
stuff.
limit of the skybox.
It's kind
Like
of like that.
Yeah.
Ha ha. That's that Bethesda charm broken that we all love.
yeah, or
But
like
this
when someone sits on a table instead of a chair, and they're like halfway through it. That's
this is
funny.
just like, I don't even know what to call this.
Like it
And
just
it's
seems like the mechanics of the game just don't work in its engine.
Yeah.
Like it just seems like you'll just be driving a car and then like, oh, it's halfway in the ground, and I'm flying now.
yeah.
Or
I
like you'll walk up to someone and they look worse than Hagrid on PS1.
Yeah. I mean, there's plenty of compilation videos. We watched a couple earlier, and it's like there's already dozens of hours, hundreds of hours of just glitches, breaks, bugs.
And a lot of them, I found, like were the same ones, like consistent between different users that were playing the game,
Yeah, a lot of them are early on,
and
and
they were
that's
like
why.
scripted ones too.
Yeah, a lot of them are scripted. We kept seeing the one where the dude, like after some event, gets on a motorcycle and drives away, and like every
Stuck.
time he kept hitting this lamppost and would get stuck.
Mhm.
And it's just little things like that. Like, come on, guys.
There was one that we saw. I don't know. No, I'm not going to spoil anything, but there's like an emotional moment with another character, and he goes to hand you his gun, and
Oh my
it
god,
goes
yeah.
into his head, and he takes it out of his head and puts it into your head.
Yeah, like the gun is just messed up, and it's just people not spawning right, enemies despawning, things flying through buildings, you flying through walls. Like it's broken, is what it is. And it's a disgrace that they were like, we'll still take your money though.
Mm-hmm.
Like they should have. They knew. They
Like,
knew
it's
this
so
data
bad
was
that like
in.
PlayStation is offering refunds on it, which, like you were telling me, like they never do that ever.
No, they never. PlayStation notoriously never does that unless it's that bad. And like I've lost a lot of respect for CD Projekt Red because they usually are consumer friendly, but they're going up and being like, "We'll gladly take your $60 for this
Like
broken piece of shit."
the last time I ever heard of a game being like this broken was Arkham Knight on PC, which that never got fixed.
Yeah.
Like
No, well,
huh?
and even then, like that was outsourced. And someone brought that up, was like, "Oh, games come out broken on different platforms. Look at Arkham Knight." And I was like, "Well, yeah, but technically, Rocksteady didn't even make that."
Mm-hmm. And then they
So
like took it down, offered refunds for it, and then they were like, "We can't fix it. We're gonna leave it up though."
yeah. So like, yeah, I don't know. It's just I'm disappointed, but I also knew it would happen. I mean, it was so obvious that this game.
Yeah, it was.
Like I didn't want it to happen because like
yeah, I think I was like everybody else. Like I want this game to be good
because I wanted it to live up to the hype, but I knew it wouldn't.
Yeah, it was not even the hype though. Like if it came out and it was an 8 out of 10, it'd be
no, yeah, it's just like
hype. This is like worst case scenario of what happened.
Like it feels like it's in alpha, like early alpha.
Absolutely.
Like,
And
I don't know what they did, but I feel like whatever version of the game we got has not been the one they've been working on for 7 years.
No, that I mean,
how long do you guys think it'll be before it becomes workable?
I think the story has been worked on for 7 years. But the actual game itself, I don't. I think they probably made that in like 2 years.
I don't agree. I think that they probably have made the game for 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I
Well, not like I think they've made the game for 7 years, but I think this version of it is not the original one they started with.
I think it is, and I think what happened was, see, CD Projekt Red has never really been a console porter, but they've primarily been PC until The Witcher 3. I think actually, Roger, do you know, did The Witcher 2 come to Xbox? It might have.
Yeah, Witcher
Yeah,
2 is on Xbox.
yeah. Even
Yeah,
Witcher 1, I think, got an enhanced edition for the Xbox 360, but they didn't make very many copies. It's like
yeah,
really hard.
yeah. So they've never been big into consoles. And then Witcher 3, but even then, Witcher 3, not this broken, but it did release broken,
Mhm.
and that game
Oh,
was
dude,
a
it's
lot.
still super glitchy to this day. Like, if you pause the screen when you load in, everybody will be in like their default T poses animations and stuff, and the horses bug out all the time. Like, it's still got its own messes, but it never hard crashed on me, so I always allowed it.
But I think what they did was they made a game for 7 years, and I believe that they made this game for 7 years. They probably, because it's a big game, and they're not Rockstar big. Like, they are a big team, but they're not massive. They're not EA. They're not Activision. They're CD Projekt Red.
Yeah, I was
They have a lot
like,
of
real.
money, but they're kind of small in comparison to other big AAA titles. So they probably did spend 7 years to make this, but they got too ambitious. They were like, we're going to release it. And this actually goes back to another point where we were talking earlier about like Xbox and their problem with all the consoles and stuff. This is an exact reason why what they're doing is a bad idea. And it's kind of a red herring for Xbox's problems in the future, because they're saying this thing where, oh, we're going to release this game on every single console. Well, Xbox alone, you have original Xbox One, Xbox One S, Xbox One X, Xbox Series S, Xbox Series X. And this game alone shows you that Cyberpunk runs different on all 5 of those consoles.
Mm-hmm. Well,
And
they're all
some of
very
them
different
some
platforms.
unplayable. But it releases on all of them. And then CD Projekt Red was like, "Oh, by the way, we're also going to do PS4, PS4 Pro, PS5, Stadia, and PC."
Also,
That's
I've heard Stadia is
10.
the best way to play it.
I've heard Stadia
This
is
shit they
pretty
made
good,
bank though.
but that's 10 different platforms that they ported to.
Yeah.
And you can see where the problem is, because they're doing this all themselves because they didn't work with the publisher.
And it's a lot of times like you'll see the same issue with. It's mostly been a problem with Kickstarted games or crowdfunded ones where they just they keep getting stretch goals and more stretch goals the more funding they get, and they keep having to add stuff in and support more platforms, and then you get a mighty number 9.
To be
And
fair
they
with
say this is the
Kickstarter
mighty
games,
number 9 of
making a game is hard, and people get really
yeah.
ambitious about it.
But this is
So
a
like,
similar kind of, I think, situation to
oh
that. Where
yeah,
it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
putting too much, more than you can handle into a game that could have been better without all the excess.
Yeah, I mean, they wanted to make a dense game, which this game probably is as dense as Witcher 3.
Mhm.
Maybe it is a little more, a little less. I heard that they cut back on the story, or not even cut back, but the main campaign is shorter than The Witcher 3, which I think is fine. Most
Just
people didn't
decide
even
that.
beat The Witcher 3.
Yeah.
Um, but like, I think when you do like comparing them to, it's about equal dense, equal like landscape and things like that. It's relatively the same, not one's not extraordinary bigger or smaller than the other. And The Witcher 3, I'm willing to bet took around 5 or 6 years to make.
Mhm.
So
I mean, I remember it was quite a decent chunk of time between the second and the third one.
yeah, it fits the timeline that they probably took that long to make them. I think where this last year, I bet you, came in was just porting them. And they got probably dev kits for the new ones, and they're like, "Oh, it works really well in here." And they kept looking back at the old gen, and like, shit, shit, shit. And at that point, maybe you do make that executive decision. You'll piss people off, but at this state, when we're looking at 35 on Metacritic, 3.0 user rating,
Well,
so at some point, you have to say for your fans, this is a PS5 and Series X/Series S game only, because
well, that's the thing. Like,
it doesn't run on legacy consoles.
I see so many people defending it too. It's like, why would you play it on a PS4 and Xbox One? It's like, I don't know, because that's what it says on the top of the box.
Because it's for sale.
Yeah.
If you sell me a product and you're saying it works on this, and then you buy it, you expect the product to work.
I mean, technically, does work.
No, it doesn't. It
You
does
can
not
beat the
technically
game.
work. And, I was thinking about this earlier, and like this is a real thing, and I know this has kind of been brought up before, but like in terms of legal grounds, people might have the right to do a class action lawsuit for like false advertisement.
I mean, yeah, it looks nothing like what they offered at all. Even
It
on
looks,
Xbox Series X, like
it
next gen
looks
consoles, it looks
nothing like the
horrible.
trailers. It is arguably unplayable. Like there's reason to believe that like you could say like we got scammed out of our money.
Uh-huh. I mean, like that's the thing though too. Like I don't know. Like it's a cool looking world, and you got Keanu Reeves, which that's that's 10 points right there. Um, like, but other than that, I still don't really understand why everyone was so obsessively like
I don't know.
hyped about this game.
And you know what I think it is? I think it's just the PC gaming culture
Mm-hmm.
because they always have that kind of elitism, and this is like a PC game, kind of. And then also the cyberpunk setting, we've never really seen that before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's pretty new to gaming. Other than maybe like 2 sex or something, you can customize your penis. So like, there's that.
That's pretty cool. But like, yeah,
Hey, when it's done, yeah.
I think it's kind of a combination of that, and then the hype of Witcher 3 was leading in. I think all those combined together, and of course, the
Witcher
media.
3, to be honest with you.
Yeah. So, but we'll keep in touch with this story. Right now, I definitely do not advise you to buy the game. If you do, buy it on Stadia or buy it.
I've heard it's got
PC.
a great story.
I've heard the story is good too. I've heard everything about it.
It's a great game.
Just broke game broke.
Yeah, I've heard that when it is running perfectly, it is a fantastic 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10 game. Not too innovative. There's nothing like super special about it, which is another thing, which I don't understand. What really pisses me off is that we can go to these game reviewers now and be like, how you have the audacity to give these 10 out of 10s? Like,
Yeah.
because you read the reviews, I read some of the reviews for 10 out of 10s, and they'll mention, like, oh, yeah, it crashed and there are bugs everywhere and stuff like that, but still 10 out of 10. It's like, dude, how do you have, where's the ethics?
It's like you take off points on Pokemon for having too much water, but then you go to Cyberpunk and it's like, yeah, it has problems, but it's 10 out of 10.
But it's a really good game because they told me it's a good game. 10 out of 10. I dropped out of college. So,
I think the most egregious review I ever saw on IGN was that like they gave points off on Pokemon Crystal, which is debatably one of the best ones they made.
yeah, you are
Because it wasn't on Game Boy Advance. That was the only reason. That's the only reason to get a perfect score.
Yeah,
and then like you see this game, it's like, well, it probably maybe you should take points off for it being on too many consoles.
Dude, I just don't put any stock in the points anymore. Like,
No.
I don't either.
I mean, yeah, I don't really care. If I'm either gonna play it or I'm not. I don't
there's
usually
just
leave
no-
the numbers up to decide for me. I just think it's because the masses look at the numbers, and
Yeah.
I just think it's misleading and also like
Right now, do you think we could predict right now how many awards at the Game Awards do you think this game will win next
all
year?
of them.
Do you think this looks like Game of the Year contender?
Actually, if Ragnarok comes out next year, then Ragnarok's gonna get Game of the Year.
You think so?
Yeah.
There's a lot of bangers coming out next year. We got Ragnarok, we got Horizon, the Ratchet and Clank, Halo is coming out, and then
Maybe.
of course all the third party. Well, I mean, hopefully that's another game that you know what Microsoft made the right move because they could have released it and we could have been seeing a Cyberpunk situation, but they're like, no, we're gonna
Even
delay
then,
it.
I don't think it would have been like as bad as Cyberpunk. I think in
Yeah.
the state it was in, it was playable. It's just people were like, it looks like Halo 3, and it's like, well, that's what we were going for.
I don't know. That's what we saw, but
I'm worried about Halo because they delayed it. Just because like there's so much behind the scenes stuff going on right now with the
People keep
management and
leaving.
league.
yeah, 343 is
And
fucking
it's like
on
I'm
fire.
freaking out about Halo. I was okay with the stupid brute face, honestly.
Yeah,
But now I'm
I
actually
think
about
the
it.
artistic like style they went for was fine.
I'm
I liked the style. I didn't like how it was rendered.
like it.
though.
I'm telling you right now.
It wasn't even that. It honestly wasn't even that bad. A couple of
Mhm.
popping stuff in the face, like
You know-
it was fine.
Well, I just meant like the resolution of everything looked subpar for a next gen game, especially when you compare it to something like Miles Morales, which isn't even like
Yeah,
that crazy of a
I
next
kind
gen
of
game.
it as like as that cross-gen where it wasn't really next-gen, you know, it was like
Because
kind of
I would
between.
expect Halo to look as pretty as Demon Souls.
Jake, I'm telling you right now, that is not why the game got delayed. And
No, I know, but like
the sad
there's
thing
more
is,
going behind the scenes. But like,
the sad thing is, we're never going to actually hear unless someone writes a think piece about it or like someone gets inside knowledge.
We'll see a documentary in about 5 years.
But I am telling you right now, Microsoft would not delay that game a year, at least a year, if it was just for the graphics. They would release it with the graphics that it has, and then just patch it in later. But the behind the scenes things, the creative director leaving, people they outsource most of their
I mean,
stuff.
we could get like a Call of Duty Cold War situation with it.
I honestly, I think behind the scenes, that game was a fucking mess.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless of, because if you recall, this game isn't even like a traditional single player Halo game. It's supposed to be like this Destiny type like game.
Yeah.
Where it never ends. And I think what we saw was probably good, but everything else behind that was probably fucking disastrous.
I think what it was is that they were not prepared to give Master Chief a grapple hook. And when you put that into a game, you have really high expectations as to like what the quality of the game is going to be when you put a grapple hook in it.
Games Doom was able to pull it off.
Yeah. They added it to Persona 5.
They were able to pull it off. But Halo Infinite,
Sonic Boom, that's a prime example of a game that couldn't pull off the grapple hook.
They rushed it in too fast with Sonic Boom. And when you get that grapple hook in there, you have to make sure that game is fucking stellar.
Mm-hmm. Like, look at Just Cause. It's a broken piece of shit, but it's fun.
It's fun. And if it's fun, why bother? Wait, what? Yeah. Anyways, that's it for CyberPunk. Like I said, well, I'm sure
I guess one more thing, too. It's like, because of CyberPunk, also, people are talking that, like, Halo fans are like, we don't want a Cyberpunk situation, just cancel the Xbox One version.
Yeah, no, so this does I think this is a problem Xbox is going to have. And I think, I think that they fucking are just lying about this whole, like, oh, all these new games will come. It's like maybe in the first year.
It's like Nintendo where they're like, oh, 3 pillars, and never happens.
It never happens. Because of situations like this.
Mm-hmm.
Where they see games like this, and then also they try to do it, and they're like, this just doesn't work. Like,
could you imagine Nintendo still supporting the Wii U, 3DS, and Switch all at once?
Well, I mean, no one would buy it on Wii U. That's why they stopped.
Yeah.
So
one game it launched day and date with Wii U and Switch, and the rest are all just ports from the Wii U.
Yep.
There's less and less reason to own a Wii U every day. March is going to be the definitive day, really.
Burn it.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, we're going to go ahead and move on. Roger, I hope you're still recording. You dropped out there for a second, and I can't see your little wavy bars anymore.
Oh, no.
Oh, well, I don't know. That's weird.
But it says recording in progress, so we're just
I don't see the lines at all for me either.
Can you see the lines, Roger?
Yeah, I can see them fine.
As long as
that was my audio that has issues. Yeah, I heard my theme like go a little fuzzy for a minute, but I mean, you guys responded.
Yeah, Roger. As long as yours is still recording locally, we could just do the thing we did last time if it doesn't upload or anything like that. I just want to make sure that it's still recording for you, so we should be good.
Roger, don't fuck Andrew over again, please.
He didn't.
He was really upset. Like, he was up for like.
I know. He hated me. I could feel it. I was like, oh, Andrew hates me.
His hair, like part of his hair turned white because of it.
He's going to delete me on Facebook. I don't want to be friends.
I was like Anna from Frozen with the little white hair strand.
We were going to invite you up to like do, a local podcast and have you live with us, but now I don't know about that.
Never.
Yeah, that's over.
So for a second, which kind of also follows into our third story of the week, we have a shitload of new announcements from the Game Awards. Now, what I did was I just compiled every single thing announced into one big paragraph, and then I'm going to read all of them, read everything that was announced at the Game Awards, and then we will go through one by one and dissect it and talk about like if it looked interesting for us, if we even remember it or something important, anything like that. Okay.
Also, wait, real quick, and you can edit this out. You don't have the full name for Nier on there.
I'm not putting full name for Nier. Okay. So we have our new announcements from the Game Awards. Before we get into the winners of the Game Awards, there are tons of new games shown off. Among these titles were, and here it is, the biggest 4-month sentence in the world. Loop Hero from Devolver Digital, Sea of Solitude Director's Cut for the Nintendo Switch, Shady Part of Me for PS4, Nier Replicant, the remake of Nier, Century Age of Ashes, which seems to be inspired heavily by Panzer Dragoon, Sephiroth is the DLC character for Smash, the Initiative's new project, Perfect Dark, Back for Blood, the spiritual successor for Left 4 Dead, the Callisto project or protocol. Was that Callisto Protocol? Yeah. That's from the makers of Dead Space, Open Roads for PS4, BioWare's new Dragon Age game, Endless Dungeon, Crimson Desert, which looks amazing even though it looked like a slideshow, Seasons on PS4, Arc 2 featuring Family, a 2D beat 'em up called The Fist, Odyssey Elite Dangerous, a spin-off of the Elite Dangerous franchise, Evil Dead the game, Returnal, which is Housemarque's newest title, Outriders Mantra of Survival on Xbox, It Takes Two from Mr. Fuck the Oscars himself, a new expansion for Elder Scrolls Online, this time taking us to the gates of Oblivion, Monster Hunter Rise, Ruin King, a League of Legends story, and finally, we got a slight look at the newest Mass Effect title, which almost made Andrew cry.
Yeah, almost made me cry too.
When I saw that N7 sign, oh my lord! Because at first, I mean, we were watching it together, me and Jake, and at first I thought it was Bethesda's new. What was that? What's that game called that they're making?
The space one.
Yeah,
Skyfall or whatever.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was at first, and then as soon as I started seeing wreckage, I was like, I think that's a mass relay.
yeah. I still wasn't sure because I never like to get my hopes up, but then when it was like I don't think it was Liara to Sony, but it looked like someone from her race, and she swiped off the thing and said N7. That tells me that this is Mass Effect 4, and I'm hoping that maybe it's like something that has to do with like maybe rebuilding an alliance or doing something like that.
Finding Shepard before he takes down the universe because he's evil now.
I see. So should we just get into? Should we just get into Mass Effect first, and then we'll go back because I have so much to talk about this. Because we all know Mass Effect Andromeda came out, and that was like their next thing after Mass Effect. The trilogy was over.
Mass Effect yet.
And Andromeda, say what you will about it, it was not like the trilogy. And what made the trilogy so special were the characters. The characters in it were fantastic, from your crew members to
what I liked about those games specifically is how well they all flowed with one another. And
well, that's because they were all
characters, but a lot with just everything about the world building and how it all operated within one another and how all your decisions. Like playing those games back to back, all three of them is a great experience in my opinion.
It really is. And like I did that. I played 1 to 2 to 3, and even say what you will about the ending, I never had a problem with the ending of 3.
Oh dude, I never had a problem with it either. But I played it like I don't know. I played it all back to back, and I played it after they released that 1.5 gigabyte update that like extended the and whatnot. And I had literally no issue with it. Mass Effect 3 is one of my favorite games. So
me too. Yeah, me as well. But it's like it's hard to even say like which is my favorite Mass Effect because I feel like all three of them are like it's all together an experience. Like if I just played one without the others, it just wouldn't.
Yeah, it really is. It's all one huge. And here's what I understand about Mass Effect 3 is like you get endings to each of the character storylines throughout that whole game. Like that's
exactly
like every main quest has to do with a character storyline coming to a closure. And so I don't know. I just for me it was a great experience. So.
I think it was a bunch of bitch boys just bitching about the ending. I think it was a vocal minority because the farther and farther we get from it, the more and more people I hear be like, the ending was good. Like I love Mass Effect 3, it's great. And didn't hear that when it first came out, and I think that was because probably the people defending Cyberpunk, a bunch of just little basement dwellers, were like, "Oh, it fucking ruined it." Blah blah blah. It's like,
green, red, blue, bad. No, yeah,
yeah, honestly. So, but 4 makes me so excited because they showed the N7, and what that tells me is this is a direct sequel to 3. That's what this tells me.
That's what that communicates.
Even if they don't have the same characters, it's the same world. And that's where Andromeda fucked up. Andromeda fucked up because they're like, hey, we're going to send you thousands of years into the future because you're on this arc. And yeah, you left from the time when Mass Effect 2, I think, was happening, is when they disembarked. They even, I have some books that they wrote, which is like kind of them on the Citadel and the things of Mass Effect 2 are happening. They're kind of talking about the Reapers and stuff, but none of it has to do with Andromeda.
They brought back everyone's favorite car.
Oh yeah, they brought back, and see that even things like that. It's like that's not the problem with Andromeda. The glitches weren't the problem. The weird facial expressions weren't the problem. The problem was that it was it had no inspiration, it had no imagination. It took things from the trilogy, but it also removed them from the source. So like in Andromeda, I think there's only one new alien race, maybe two. The rest were just ones we've seen before. And they were like, yeah, the Mako was there, which is like, okay, cool, the Mako, but it's like, why? Why am I in the Mako? Nostalgia, I guess? Like, this doesn't make sense. If you're going to do this whole new thing, do everything new. It made sense in Mass Effect 3 to have the Mako because I'm still Shepard. I'm still in the ship. I'm still have his supplies. In Andromeda, it makes no sense. So I'm excited for the potential of 4, even if it doesn't have characters. Although, if you recall, Roger, now I don't know if this happened to you, but if you did everything right and you got the military strength up to 100 and you made the right choices in 3, Shepard lives at the end.
It was
Along
like
with,
it was like an alluded to that he lives, right? Like they
yeah,
didn't
he
like
like
show why.
it
They
shows him
alluded
like,
to that.
It's like getting the legendary ending in Halo 3.
yeah, kind of, because
I
it shows his
thought it was
body at
just
the end.
that. Oh, does it show? I thought it showed like they put the hand or something, and like you like see it was like a Superman at the end of Dawn of Justice, where the ground rise situation, where you don't get like
Yeah,
a direct
Oh yeah,
visual that
no,
he's walking down, but
even
like
though
the
that
loose
really ended up
text.
not being the case in
that
Justice
is that.
League.
It kind of is that what it does is it shows the wreckage. Like this is after it shows your crew crashing on this random planet and things like that. It shows the wreckage of Earth and stuff, and then it shows the N7 insignia, which is alluding like, oh, this is Shepard's body. But then like right at the end, he takes a breath. It shows like
Yeah,
chest
that's
move,
what I thought.
and then it
Yeah,
cuts to
that's what
black.
I thought.
Yeah.
It's like it is tested. Yeah.
So it's like there is something there that if they wanted to now. It would be a little ridiculous because they've already killed him and brought him back to life. They did that in 2. So if they did
Yeah.
it again after 3, but I guess you could say like, oh, he never
It'll be
died, or
cool.
I don't know.
Femshep and Male Shep were two different entities the whole time.
What? Insane. I never would have got
The
that.
Shepherd conspiracy.
It's like a Star Wars that just have a bunch of shepherds in a bottle.
So yeah. Well, I mean that's kind of Mass Effect too, but that's discussion for another time. That was my Mass Effect thing, though. What I want to do now is just kind of go through these, and you guys tell me like, are you interested or not, or how you feel about them. Starting with Loop Hero from Devolver Digital. How do you feel about this?
Give me just a second. My printer's making a bunch of noise, so I'm muting.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
this
Well,
Loot Hero. I don't know. I feel. I don't know. I'm kind of over all the hero games, to be honest. Like they're kind of neat little nostalgia themes every now and then, but I don't have a strong attachment to any of
yeah, all
them.
these 2D pixel, like you're the hero things. It's like this was cute 10 years ago, but it needs to go away again for it to be cute again. Well, Jake's doing that thing, so we're just gonna move on. Sea of Solitude Director's
Sure.
Cut for Nintendo Switch.
I don't really care about it.
I don't either. This is like an artsy game. I think it's like an analogy for depression or something. I don't know. I
That's
didn't
what
care.
everything is. That's what Dark Souls is. So it's like Dark Souls.
It's the Dark Souls of
It's the Dark
artsy
Dark
games.
Souls.
Yeah.
Shady Part of Me on PS4. Jake, do you even remember what game this is?
Uh,
I don't. I don't remember what this is.
I can't. No.
It wasn't that great because I can't
You
remember.
tried though. God bless you for trying.
Near Replicant, Roger, you're into
I know
that.
that. Yeah. In fact, it's funny because you said that was a remake. Near Replicant is what it was called in Japan, the original one. It wasn't called Near, it was called Near Replicant. So that's just the
Oh,
original Japanese name.
oh, cool. You
Little fun fact.
you're a Near fan, right? You're excited for this?
Yeah, I played Near before people knew what that was.
That's so
And then
cool.
Near Automata came out. I'm like, oh, I can't wait to play it's the only one I have. I can't wait to play the spin-off, and most people don't even realize it's a spin-off. Which is fine, because Near Automata is a great game. You don't need to. But I'm
Hmm.
excited for the remake. I'm excited
You know,
how they'll change, if they'll change anything, and what they'll do.
Roger, I'm right there with you. There's no better feeling than being a fan of a game franchise. It was Persona for me, and Yakuza to an extent, even though Yakuza I got into it when it was starting to get popular with Zero. But Persona, I would say I was still like there when it was small. Even with 4 golden, it was still like it didn't sell even over 1 million
Yeah,
copies.
five really put it on the map for me at least. Like
Yeah.
when I think honest.
And when you see a game franchise that you like kind of explode in popularity, it's weird because it's like, oh, everyone
It is
loves the
weird,
game
yeah.
now. That's cool. But then it's also like, well, they don't really know anything about the game series, and then they start making like all these demands and assumptions, like, well, it's never really been like that before,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
you know,
Like it's
I'm glad
exciting
I
because
knew of Persona before 5 because you showed me.
yeah,
hell yeah. But yeah, the new Near Replicant version, whatever it is, all the numbers and stuff, it looks good. Like
I
I'll
gotta see the
probably,
whole
I had always heard about Near, but I never had gotten it, and then I got Near Automata because it was like the game to get when it came out.
yeah, for real.
So I'll probably get
It's
Near
funny how on
Replicant
it to play Nier Automata as somebody that played Nier back when I was like, I was young Roger. So
when I was young, Roger. Yeah. Um, and the next one was Century Age of Ashes, which seems inspired by Panzer Dragoon. I don't really know anything about this game, but the gameplay looked like you're controlling a dragon and flying
yeah,
around shooting
Yeah, when I
things.
first saw this, I thought it was Panzer Dragoon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like Panzer Dragoon enough, I guess, but I'm not itching for Panzer Dragoon or anything spin off of it or anything like that. You know, they're
Mhm.
good enough games, I guess, but it's just Star Fox as a dragon.
What? No.
Yeah. Sephiroth for Smash.
Sephiroth. No, yeah.
Anyone care about this one?
Yeah. That's pretty cool. I mean, I've only ever played Final Fantasy VII, the remake.
Oh,
And
really? You never played the original? I would have thought
nope,
you'd play the original.
I've never played a Final Fantasy game until remake.
Roger, I tried to get him to play the original before the remake, and he just refused. I
Didn't
tried.
refuse.
Yeah, I've always
Like,
wanted to. The only Final Fantasy game I've ever played was one of the Game Boy Advance ones, and
Yeah.
I've always gotten so close. Every year one came out, I got so close to buying it. I'm like, no, but maybe I'll get it later, and then I never do.
Yeah, the thing is, I've always wanted to get into Final Fantasy, but it's just I never do.
Yeah,
yeah.
same.
Same
Well,
with Mass Effect. I need to play Mass Effect.
you got into the remake, kind
Oh,
of. You
yeah,
beat
you
it.
do.
I don't think it was probably going to be my favorite one. After I got a decent way through 10. It's better than
Yeah.
10.
Anything's better than 10. 10's overrated.
Oh, really?
Um, but
I
yeah,
really, I
Rise
really
10
want
is the one that got 3 games. Or no, not 10. I'm sorry. I'm thinking of 13. Oh, yeah,
yeah.
13.
Oh, that's the one you got a decent way into.
Yeah.
Oh well, yeah, that's still one that after the PS1 titles, when it transitioned to like full 3D and PS2, that's when it got weird. People love 10 and Stand by 10. I'm not the biggest fan of 10. I understand. It's not even that. Also, that scene is taken out of context. It's meant to sound like that.
No, I know.
But yeah, I never got into 10. 10-2 I heard is better, but I'm like, I'm not gonna play 10-2 if I haven't beat 10.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't want to play a game called 10-2. Like that just kind of upsets me, to be honest. It was,
This game
I've seen
makes me angry.
I've seen almost every one of the movies, the animated movies. Just I'm so impressed with the animation. So I've seen a bunch of the movies, the
Yeah.
Final Fantasy movies, but
I want to
maybe it's play through a full game.
beat 7, like the original 7, and then watch Advent Children, and then
Should.
watch someone play through Crisis Core.
See, that's the thing, and that's why I was like, when you're playing remake, I'm like, you're probably enjoying this some, but like the real enjoyment comes out of remake because remake isn't. It's not a remake of 7, which is weird to say because it obviously is, but it's not. It's so much more of Final Fantasy 7 Part 4. Like to get Final Fantasy 7 remake, you have to beat the first game. You have to beat Crisis Core. You have to know what the movie is and watch the movie because they're kind of doing like this metaverse, different time thing, and this is more like a sequel to 7, if anything else.
Mm-hmm.
And
I wish they would have advertised.
especially the ending.
Like, I know you can't really say that without spoiling how the direction of the
Yeah, don't spoil it. Don't spoil it yet.
When you say remake, when I go to pick that up off the shelf, I'm like, oh, this is going to be Final Fantasy 7. It's not Final Fantasy 7.
But the thing is, I
Yeah.
think even then, like if you, it's difficult because yeah, you're right. It says remake, but I think it's kind of a double entendre with remake. I think it's them like remaking the series And if they were gonna do like an actual remake of the game, I don't think they would have put remake in the title, if that makes sense. And I know that sounds stupid, like of course they would, but it's like I think of any remake that's ever come out ever in video games, they never put remake in the title. They usually just put the title again.
They would have just
put like
Final Fantasy VII PS4 technical demo.
Is it like Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, where it's like it's a remake, but it can coexist with the other games?
Kind of.
I think it's more so of a detractor than Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire did.
It really starts because
it's a completely different game. Like when you get
10 chapters are pretty similar, but then once you know Final Fantasy VII, right, Roger?
Yeah, once the plate drops,
I know it. I never played it.
So there's a part where in the city, it's like very early on in the game, like 2 or 3 hours in the game.
Grandma drops her plate and everything.
They drop part of the city on top of the lower part of the city, and they blame it on Cloud and the gang, to make them out as terrorists and stuff like that. And the second that happens, that's when they really start deviating from the original, because it's like up to this point it's been beat for beat remake. They've thrown some extra things in there. There's an extra chapter where you go like meet Jesse's family and stuff, and it's like, okay, I get this, you're remaking it, you're going to throw more lore into there, you're going to make it a deeper story, you're going to get to know these characters more. But when that happens in the original game, people die at that part, and in the remake some people die. And it's starting
on the plate, right? All the people.
I mean, I'll definitely play it. That's definitely on my to-do list.
But if you play it, at least go back to Final Fantasy VII and play the first 5 hours.
Okay, hold up. Should I play the first Final Fantasy VII first, or should I play the remake and then go back and
first game first? Play the 1997 game first. But you don't even have to beat it. Because I'm sure you know the big spoiler, right? Everyone knows the big spoiler.
Oh yeah, everybody knows the big spoiler. Everyone it's the video game Darth Vader.
It was even in the Smash trailer.
But they even allude to that. But like you'll see things happen, and they focus a lot on these like black ghost things. And by chapter 14 or 15, it's just it's not Final Fantasy VII anymore. It's Kingdom Hearts meets Final Fantasy.
I'll call the black ghosts continuity keepers.
Call them what?
Continuity keepers.
Continuity keepers, yeah. There's the continuity keepers.
To keep things the way they were.
They're the Watchers for Final Fantasy.
They're fighting. Like you were literally fighting the continuity of Final Fantasy VII at a point.
Yeah, it's exciting for part 2, which I don't think they're gonna call Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2. I think they're gonna call it Final Fantasy VII.
They might. Final Fantasy. They might.
No, I don't think they will, because I think the remake title isn't saying that it's a remake. I think it's them saying like we're remaking the timeline. I think that's what that title means. Mm-hmm. So I think they're going to call the next one like New Dawn or New Adventure or
Final Fantasy VII 2.
Final Fantasy VII 2, maybe. Who fucking knows with them, honestly.
Advent Parent.
Advent Parent, yeah, they'll do that.
Advent
but
calendar.
yeah, Sephiroth's in Smash now. That's what all that was for.
His reach is ridiculous.
Yeah, he looks like a cool character to play. Maybe we'll get more than one Final Fantasy VII song now. Who knows?
Gotta stay tuned. We'll have like 3.
Maybe.
But I think it's like probably the best trailer they've made for any character reveal.
Yeah, I agree.
I think a lot of time and care went into it.
It's so fucking badass, because you really don't know. Like for the other trailers, you kind of know right away, but for this one, you have no idea.
He wasn't even invited.
Nope, he just
killed the game, and he's like, "Oh yeah, the final boss of your game. I'm the final boss now."
And I love that they poke around with like Cloud. You can't escape me, bitch.
Yeah,
like I'm here. You ain't getting away.
What game you're in, I am also in that game.
Cloud just like, son of a bitch. I can't get rid of you.
You will. I will never be a memory, Cloud.
Yeah. So moving on now, this one's a fucking big one. We've been talking about the Initiative's secret game for a long time, and it turns out it's Perfect Dark. Now, Roger, did you see this trailer?
I didn't watch the trailer, but I just saw the
watching that live. That was crazy.
Watching it live, because you don't know what the fuck it is, and even up to the point where they like show the character, you're still like, what is this? And I figured like it was
Perfect Dark game or a remake.
So I don't know, because it shows like this desert city. It looks like it's in Egypt. I think that's where the zoomed onto the planet was Egypt. And there's like this modern city, but it's also like there's what was it, Jake? Like tornadoes or cyclones or something in the
Yeah.
background going on. And there's like these
Going down.
drones flying through, and it's following the drones, and they go into this skyscraper. And this little drone is going through this skyscraper, and you're seeing like explosions and people dying and stuff. And
See
it goes
that?
all
That-
all the way up to the rooftop. And you're just like, what the fuck is this? And then it goes up to this lady standing on the roof, and this guy comes online, and it says like blah 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 Agent Dark or Joanna Dark, and then it goes boom, Perfect Dark, and it's like, what the fuck?
And
Xbox is actually using its IP? What?
If you remember early podcast, I'm like, "Where's the Perfect Dark? Here it is."
It's true.
Perfect Dark was a pretty cool game, so
Yeah.
I'd be excited to see how that turns
One
out.
thing I'm worried about just from seeing this trailer is I hope they don't make it too like bombastic, crazy action, because that's not really what Perfect Dark is. It's more
I
kind of like
think what we have to
espionage,
do,
and it's like cooler James Bond, basically.
I think what we're going to have to do, because I think we're going to start seeing Xbox really delve deeper into these titles that they have, because I think we're seeing Xbox give its last hurrah, if that makes sense.
They've been on their like God of War, their Ghost of Tsushima, their Last of Us.
Well, not even that. Like I think since 2013, after the Xbox One, Xbox, and even a little bit before that, honestly, when PS3 was starting to hit its stride again, I think Xbox, the discussion about them becoming third party has been more prevalent than ever. And then Phil Spencer came in, and they canceled a whole bunch of games, and the Xbox still wasn't doing really good. And even now, you could say like, there's promise, but we're still not there. There's still like, what's the reason to own an Xbox right now? It's like,
yeah,
I don't know what the reason is. And I think what we're going to see is Xbox really dig into their IP. It's like, we got Perfect Dark. We bought that so long ago, make a game out of it. We got Banjo-Kazooie. Got it so long ago, make a fucking game out of it. New Gears of War. Halo Infinite, let's go. It's like all these fucking things. We have all these studios. I think the possibility of seeing a Fallout Vegas 2 is high, because they want people to play on Xbox. And I think we're going to see all
Obsidian and they got ZeniMax, so there we go. Bring the Obsidian team in.
At the same time, I think we have to let go of the idea that these are going to be the same games that we played as kids. Like this Perfect Dark game, by the time we get it, I think the smartest thing to do is go in with a blank slate and be like, okay, we know it's going to be Joanna Dark. We know that it's called Perfect Dark. We know that there's a gun. Everything else, I say we just leave it fucking. Don't expect anything. Don't expect it to be espionage. Don't expect it, especially from that trailer. That trailer looked fucking wild. That did not look like Perfect Dark until the end.
I'm just like, dude, go crazy new direction. I don't even care. Just give us something like really fucking just sick.
Yeah, like make it cool. And like I think having a strong female protagonist, especially that's a secret agent, like that's fucking awesome. Already you got me. And I don't know about you.
Better than zero.
I don't know about you, but like I don't know the story to any Perfect Dark game. I've played them, but I don't care.
I know. I've played the first one, but like I don't know jack shit, to be honest with you.
Like I don't know anything, and I'm sure in the coming years you're gonna see so many people be like, "Oh, I'm the biggest Perfect Dark fan. I fucking know everything. I read it all on Wikipedia." Like they better not fucking this is sacred stuff. It's like there's nothing like the original game. Like come on, guys. Like Perfect Dark. No one actually really cares about Perfect Dark. Like no one.
They really Dark franchise.
It's a recognizable title, and that's why they're doing it. That's why they're calling this Perfect Dark.
Because like I think it was more of where's Perfect Dark comes from. You know, Microsoft bought Rare. They made a bunch of Rare games right off the bat, and then they was just like, all right, throw them in the dumpster. We're not doing that anymore.
That's because no one liked them at that point. And people are done.
Because I was like, all the Rare games that they made once Microsoft bought them were just not great, except for Viva Pinata. People like Viva Pinata.
Pinata was good. But even then, like, we keep talking about, like, how long ago did they buy Rare? Like, at this point,
it was like 2001, 2002.
Yeah, so it's like 20 years.
Yeah.
It's been a Microsoft IP more than it was a Rare IP at this point. Like, you know. And sometimes that just happens. Sony owns a plethora of IP that we just never hear of.
I haven't seen Twisted Metal in forever.
Yeah, and that's because they tried rebooting Twisted Metal on PS3 and no one played it. No one bought it. So they're like,
Like
well, we
Nintendo
won't
with
do that.
F-Zero. You don't see Captain Falcon except for in Smash now.
Exactly, because they made F-Zero games and no one
Heck,
bought them. So they're
they
like,
put F-Zero stages in Mario Kart 8, but you can't play as Captain Falcon in that game.
yeah. Yeah, they should at least make him a driver or something, but
Mhm.
whatever.
Honestly, I think, I think we could possibly see an F-Zero or Twisted Metal game this generation.
Well, I think there's always a chance for us to see these old titles come back.
Honestly, in Demolition All Stars, I wouldn't be surprised if Sweet Tooth wasn't added to that. It's
I
basically perfect. Or, what am I saying? Perfect Dark. It's basically Twisted Metal, but like Fortnite.
yeah, I don't I don't know. It's you'd think like, oh yeah, these things are so perfect to go together,
Because I mean,
but
Sweet Tooth
but at the
stars in
same
it in
time
the
they
movie.
don't ever do it, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like, is it perfect? Cuz you would think like I don't think these companies wouldn't do something if they knew it would make them money.
Mm-hmm.
So there must be a reason. And then also there's like a thing always where it's like, well, we don't want to do that yet because we are planning a game and we don't want to like burst our, blow our load early or something like that. We want to hold everything back and then release it. Um but there's so many titles. The big one that comes to mind to me is Resistance for PlayStation. Like where the fuck is Resistance? They own Insomniac now. Like where is Resistance?
Well, they making Spider-Man.
They are making Spider-Man. They're big. They can make. I think they make like 3 games at a time over there, at least.
Yeah.
Give us Resistance. Hashtag bring Resistance back.
Yeah, I could see Resistance coming back on PS5. I think that'd be a good one after Spider-Man for them to come out with.
It would be super fun, cool. And the thing is, like one of the project managers or PR dude or something. I think it's their PR team actually. They post about Resistance all the time, like constantly, just posting like pictures of the Chimera and just concept art and things like that. Like they're always talking about it. It's like if you're gonna talk about it, say something. Like tell us that you're giving us a game or something. Because the
Yeah,
last one we got was a crappy Vita game, not even made by them.
I know. It's just like I wonder too if they bring it back, if it'll be like a legit sequel, like Resistance 4, or if it'll be kind of a God of War style, like
Remake?
sequel, but also a fresh start, or just a straight up remake,
Yeah, who
or
knows?
reboot more likely than a remake.
Reboot, yeah.
Mhm.
But yeah, Perfect Dark looks cool. What about Back for Blood? That game looks cool.
Eh, no,
Eh?
I'm just joking. No, yeah, it looks pretty neat. I'm glad we're getting a Left 4 Dead game finally after
Yeah, Left 4 Dead 3,
forever.
basically.
hmm I mean, it looks like it's got all the
Basically,
same kind of zombie types.
close we're gonna get.
I mean, it's called Back for Blood. They even stole the fucking 4 thing from the Left 4 Dead.
I would have loved
And
it though if the title would have popped up and it was just like Left 4 Dead 4.
Roger, I know you didn't see the gameplay of this, but it's Left 4 Dead, like
Is
beat
it?
for beat. They showed a little gameplay, like pre-alpha gameplay footage, and he's starting a safe room, and it's exactly the same.
Oh
Like
yeah,
it looked like Left 4 Dead in 2020.
I
Like
can't
you're
wait.
picking up, you pick up the weapons the same way. The doors look like they're the same fucking animation. You're going out. They have your special zombies, your normal zombies. Like it looked like Left 4 Dead, which is awesome. That's what I want is Left 4 Dead 3, but it's called Back for Blood. Which this game, this hasn't been a secret. They've been making this game for a while. But they're finally, I think, Jake, didn't they say that it was this month that they're doing an open
Yeah,
alpha? Or
December 17th, I think, is what they said was going to be the um like the first time we'll be able to play it.
Yeah, so this game is coming soon. And it's hopefully good. Like, I mean, honestly, as long as it's not fucking broken, it should be good. What I saw, I was like, yep, that's what I want. It's new, pretty Left 4 Dead. Give us new maps, maybe some new weapon types, new zombie types. Boom, there you go. Perfect game.
Mm-hmm.
Next one was the Callisto Protocol. That we didn't see much,
Yeah,
just CG trailer, but it was
another thing. Like with Left 4 Dead, we both thought that was going to be a new Dead Space.
mhm.
A lot of spiritual successors and or remakes and stuff.
Yep, a lot. I mean, that just kind of tells you that anything that's old is new again. Same thing with movies, right? So
Yeah.
people like relatable things. But that game looks cool. It was only a CG trailer though, so gotta
Yeah.
be cautious about that. Open Roads for PS4 looked like one of those artsy fartsy games. Didn't really care. Dragon Age, they showed some of that off. I think they showed actual gameplay for that. That game should be coming soon because that's been in development since Inquisition. I think Inquisition released in 20.
Yeah, pretty much right after Inquisition. I mean, they already sequel baited Inquisition, and then they got to work on that game. That'll be interesting how that turns out. Inquisition was good, but
Mhm.
Dragon Age got to bring it home.
Yeah, I think Inquisition was good. I think how this new Dragon Age comes out is a big indicator how Mass Effect is going to be. Because we saw BioWare do Mass Effect Andromeda, but that was technically the B team, as they kept alluding to, like using that as an excuse. And then BioWare released Anthem, and we all know how that went. So this is kind of like the
Yeah,
make or break.
true.
Like you can have a slump. You're kind of in a deep slump right now, which I still argue that Andromeda is not a terrible game. If I
I
had
just
to,
want to play it at this point.
if I compared Andromeda to like Mass Effect 1, it would kind of be the same thing. Like if Andromeda, we knew there was a 2 and a 3 coming out, I think that game wouldn't be as critically panned as it is. But the game on its own, it's like it's fine. It's not
But
terrible, but it's not great.
yeah, but with Dragon Age 4, I just know that like Dragon Age Inquisition I really liked, but like Dragon Age 4 story wise, narrative wise, just me personally, I'm not really like super invested with like what's his name as the villain.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
like
same.
it's weird because I liked Inquisition a lot, but it's like I kind of feel like you got to win me over here. And
Yeah,
then like you said, with Bioware kind of dropping the ball in their latest games, I think I think they really need to have this one be a banner.
I agree.
Which I hope so because I like the Dragon Age games.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
Yeah. Bioware
It
definitely
was
a win.
It was funny though because I think it was around this time that EA Play had an advertisement and they showed like a sizzle reel of all their games and they showed everything and I swear, I mean every EA game except Anthem. Like they left that one out. And they're showing like Battlefield 5 and 1 and things like they're showing all their games.
That's a surefire sign that there's something.
They should just kill it.
Yeah.
Just don't bother anymore, which they kind of have. So
Mhm.
but yeah, I'm cautiously optimistic about Dragon Age. I hope it's good. I want to see BioWare come back again. Endless Dungeon. I don't remember what this is. Jake, do you remember?
Uh,
I don't.
I vaguely, but not enough to like explain it.
Sounds like a 2D game. I don't know.
Yeah, anything that's endless, kind of count me out. I need to have a finite game.
Agreed. Now this next one though, Jake, I can only really talk to you about it because Roger, you didn't see it. But Crimson Desert. Do you remember this one, right?
Crimson Desert.
The game that looks like it was a slideshow.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now this game looks. I'll be honest. This game looks fucking badass. But holy shit, the balls on the developer, Roger. I don't even know how to explain it. It looked like it was first of all, it's a South Korean game developed by South Koreans. So that's kind of cool already. It's not a
really cool.
That was
like South Korean.
I remember the trailer had a very Kingdom Hearts-esque issue with it with sound.
Yeah, the sound
there was like no sound effects or like voiceover in scenes that looked like they were clearly designed to have that.
It was just music. So I mean, this game is in like pre alpha. Like they are showing us a very early version of this game, which I kind of respect them because this was all real gameplay. But at the same time, holy shit, I don't think it ever got above 15 frames a second, like ever. Like it was raw, real gameplay.
Oh yeah,
but it looked cool.
It looked rough, definitely.
It looked like The Witcher and Skyrim, but more flashy, I would say. Or maybe not even that. Maybe like, okay, so Godfall. Godfall is flashy, but it doesn't have the gameplay there. It was like Godfall and The Witcher 3 combined, if that makes sense.
Just give me a day and time and I'll be there.
Yeah, me too. Like the game looked fucking awesome, except goddamn.
I've heard that name before. I'm trying to remember if was this like the first time they've ever announced that property? Because I swear to God, I've heard that.
I think so.
I hadn't
I
heard
think
anything about it before.
Maybe I'm just a prophet.
You know what I wonder? There's that one game that has desert in its name. It's a PC game. It's a free-to-play game. What is it called?
Black Desert?
Black Desert. Yeah, Black Desert Online. I wonder if it's made by the same people because it kind of looks like Black Desert. I'll research that later and see. But I'm wondering. Next one was Seasons on PS4, artsy fartsy game. Arc 2. Jake, tell us about Arc 2.
It's about family. That's the worst Vin Diesel impression ever.
I want to talk about it.
But man, yeah, that was a shock. It looks like they're definitely taking a page out of like Horizon Zero Dawn's book. It looks very like, I don't know. At first, I thought it was like, I didn't want to think it was, but it just looked too much like Horizon Zero Dawn for me to not connect those two. And of course, Vin Diesel's in it.
Yeah, at first I was like, so just a quick, like going back to the last one real quick. I looked it up. It's the same people that make Black Desert Online.
Oh, all right.
Oh, okay.
That already makes me way more like comfortable, relaxed, and excited. Because Black Desert Online is fucking fantastic. So yeah, making a single player Crimson Desert, that's awesome. But yeah, Arc 2, when we were first watching the trailer, we were like, oh, is this Horizon? And then the first character model popped up. I was like, no, this is Horizon.
Vin Diesel, and it's like, did they put Vin Diesel in Horizon?
Well, just like at the beginning, the production looks so cheap. I was like, this isn't a Sony thing. Like,
yeah,
there's no way.
As the trailer went on too, it was very apparent that it was not as high of budget. Because it was dropping frames and what seemed to be all pre-rendered footage.
But it all made sense at the end when that Arc 2 thing popped up. It's like, Arc. Yeah, I don't think that game. I've played Arc only a few times, but every gameplay thing I see of it, every time I play it, that game just doesn't seem like it runs well.
No.
Like it seems like it's kind of
not
living up to the
people who play that game love that game, and it's an endless grind, but it's got its own issues. I'll be interested to see how the second one does. I could never get into Arc. I have friends that religiously played it, especially in high school. They would like wake up. They were like before and after school. They would talk about them defending whatever their dinosaur plan they had.
But I always thought it reminded me a lot of Turok.
Kind of.
But I know it's not Turok. That's the only thing I can really compare it to because I've never really played it. But we're also getting an Arc animated series with Vin Diesel playing his character from Arc 2.
It seems like Vin Diesel has a video game franchise now, and it's Arc.
Also, I thought it may have been some form of Riddick.
That's the trend now, is movie actors getting their own video games.
The last video game he was in panned out pretty well, so I'm excited to see where this one goes.
Oh yeah, Crossroads, Fast and Furious Crossroads.
I was thinking of the old Xbox Riddick video game.
When I saw him, I thought it might be like a Riddick game somewhere.
To be fair, Crossroads looked like an old Xbox game, so
yeah.
But yeah, I am interested in Arc 2. It has my attention, but you're gonna have to sell me a little more in it. So there's a 2D beat 'em up game called Fist. I don't really care. Do you guys care? Odyssey Elite Dangerous. If you ever played the Elite Dangerous games on PC, it's like a tactical space game.
Okay.
I don't know. This spinoff looks cool, I guess. An Evil Dead game. That's awesome.
Really play. Also,
I thought of Jake the second I saw that.
Liar.
Yeah, kind of.
That he was done. He was retiring from playing Ash Williams after the end of the Ash vs. Evil Dead show, and here he is.
He says groovy. But yeah, that game looks awesome. It looks kind of like Dead by Daylight sort of type thing. So I am interested.
I'm interested to see that.
That's kind of what it reminded me of. Was a little Dead by Daylight.
He's in Dead by Daylight.
Yep. Returnal, which is Housemarque's newest game. Housemarque is fucking fantastic. They made those like Helldivers and like those arcadey shooter games for PlayStation. And this game looks like a 3D Well, first this game looked like Silent Hills because they got the fucking door.
What?
Which is, you know what's interesting about that, Jake?
Mm-hmm.
On the official post by PlayStation, they cut that part out.
Really?
So I think they realized that people were making that connection, like, we'll cut that out. But apparently, what it's supposed to be is like you are like what you said, where it's like what's that one movie? Live Die Repeat.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that
But they
movie.
ended up
Where,
calling it, but Edge of Tomorrow.
yeah, Edge of Tomorrow.
Okay.
I've heard a lot of people call it Die Repeat.
Well, that's the thing.
Effectively,
It's what they want you to call it.
Yeah, it is. But in this game, you're playing as a lady and this astronaut, assuming you're in space or something, and it looks like it's a twin stick shooter, but in 3D, which would stick.
It reminds me a lot of Risk of Rain 2.
Except it looks good. Risk of Rain 2 isn't bad, but it's very cheap. It's an indie
As far as
game.
like, the combat and like the way it plays, it looks a lot like Risk of Rain 2.
3D open shooter, yeah. Mm-hmm. But Housemarque is fucking awesome. I'm day one buy for this, absolutely. Like I have no doubt in my mind that this game's gonna be fucking great. Mm-hmm. So I recommend it.
When is that one coming out?
March.
Oh, not too far.
Or April. I can't remember. March, April. But yeah, it's like right there. So yeah. Buy Returnal. Outriders Mantra of Survival for Xbox. I don't remember this game. It Takes Two from Mr. Fuck the Oscars himself. That game, it's a co-op couch game about these two people that get turned into like marionettes or something. And it's this couple who is kind of like going through rough patch and they have to work together to get through like these mazes and things. And it's like comedy, but it's also like about love and things like that and working together. I think it looks cute. I want to play it with Susan. Like, I think it would be a fun couple game. Jake wasn't really jiving with it, but I get that.
I was expecting more something along the lines of like what he made last time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So. I wasn't expecting it to be kind of like this kind of Sackboy-esque game.
Well, that's the thing with him, is that he makes different games every time. Because I know he made another game that was after A Way Out, but it wasn't like A Way Out, and it wasn't like this either. So,
but I don't know. It's I might try it out, but I probably won't buy it. If I play it, I'll probably download the free copy that you get.
Mm-hmm.
I play with you.
Yeah. So a new expansion for Elder Scrolls, Gates of Oblivion. I recently got that on Stadia, and we'll see if I get into Elder Scrolls Online. We'll see.
I've tried so many times Elder Scrolls Online, and there's no reason that I don't. But
I know I even bought it for you. We played it once.
I know. We played it twice.
Maybe if I really get into it, that'll suck you guys back in.
Yeah.
Monster Hunter Rise, new Monster Hunter game. Rune King, a League of Legends story. This is one of the new League of Legends games coming out. I don't care about it, but that's really cool that they're finally expanding.
Go back to Monster Hunter, the movie in a week or so.
And then we already talked about Mass Effect. So there you go. Everything announced at the Game Awards. It was a good Game Awards, honestly. I liked it.
Honestly, I think the most memorable thing would be Sephiroth for me.
Really?
Yeah.
Definitely if I had to pick, I don't know. I'll do my top 5. Definitely Mass Effect's number 1. And then, Returnal, number 2. Perfect Dark, Back 4 Blood. And then I'm thinking Crimson Desert. But that Callisto Protocol, I'm keeping my eye on. Nier Replicant, I've already, I'm honestly. And then it's both It Takes Two and the new Elder Scrolls. Those were all my top picks. Everything else looked okay, good. Dragon Age, I'm gonna probably get. Sephiroth, of course, I'm gonna play it. Everything else probably not. I don't care.
I still haven't got the Smash Season 2 pass, so I'll have to
out. Minecraft is fun to play as.
Yeah.
Do you guys have anything else to go about those new announcements? Anything else to say? Not go.
No. Yeah, I'm pretty good.
Oh, we also got Jeff Keighley's face in Among Us.
Oh yeah, if you did this thing for like 30 minutes or something.
Didn't they announce?
So yeah, you had to watch. Huh?
Did they announce a whole new map, or was that earlier?
Yeah, so we got a new map for Among Us, which is on the airship from Henry Stickmin games, which looks really cool. It also looks huge. But what they did is after that announcement, They said for the next 30 minutes, anyone watching it on the stream on Twitch, like on their website, and had their Among Us account linked to your Twitch profile, you got a mask of Jeff Keighley's face.
See,
for your character.
that was a step too far for me. I was like, okay, wait, you want me to get my laptop out, get on your official Twitch thing, but then you want me to link my Among Us account? I can't do that.
Which apparently you could have done forever ago, which I never knew about. But what Twitch is doing now is they have Twitch drops. So they have games that you can link to your account, and if you're watching sponsored content by the game devs or content that they've given drops to creators for, I guess I don't know exactly how it works, but as long as you're on that stream for the prerequisited amount of time or do whatever you need to do on that stream to earn whatever they are going to give you, that's how you get it. Like, it's not just like go to your Twitch loot or whatever. You have to like participate in someone's stream.
You have to watch it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I honestly thought I missed the Among Us thing, and then I checked my Twitch today, which is a few days afterwards, and there it was. I have Jeff Keighley's mask in Among Us, so
there you go.
Like, it's Jeff Keighley now.
I couldn't be bothered, but that's okay. I'll stick with my pink guy with a crown. I'm good with that. That's fine. But speaking of Among Us, let's get into the main topic of the show. Woo, woo, woo.
Among Us Sundays.
So, as everyone that listened to our last episode knows, we made predictions for the Game Awards. I made out this nice little chart that has every single prediction we made along with the actual winner. And what I did was I put a point next to the ones that we got right, or whichever one of us got right. And then at the end, I added up all the points. We're going to go through each category one by one, and I'll say everyone's prediction, and then I'll say the winner. And then at the end, I will let you know what the final tallies are. You guys ready?
Ready, Freddy.
Let's go.
All right. So, best esports team. I picked the San Francisco Shockers along with Roger, and Jake picked Team Secret. The winner was G2 Esports, so 0 points.
Never saw it coming.
No.
For best esports host, me and Jake picked Stokes, a fucking terrible name, and Roger picked James Patterson, and the winner was Jocks. So that's a point for me and Jake. For best esports game, I picked Fortnite. Jake picked Counter-Strike. Roger picked Valorant. The winner, League of Legends. Really came out of nowhere.
My God.
I know, right? I never would have. League of Legends can't die. For the best esports event, I picked League of Legends, and Jake and Roger picked Call of Duty, and the winner was League of Legends.
That makes sense since I won the other one.
Mm-hmm.
Best esports coach, I picked Zonic, and Jake and Roger picked Zepha. The winner was Zonic. I totally knew that, by the way. Like, I know Zonic, obviously. Best esports athlete, I picked Canyon, Jake and Roger picked Showmaker, and the winner was Showmaker, that little nerd.
Heck yeah.
If you recall, that was the dude with the Harry Potter glasses.
Yeah.
His little acceptance speech and everything. It was fantastic.
It's beautiful. I knew he was destined for greatness.
Yeah. Best debut game, I picked Phasmophobia along with Jake. Roger picked Mortal Shell. The winner was Phasmophobia. So that's another point for me and Jake.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised, honestly, for that one.
Yeah, me too. But game recognition. It's probably not even the best game, but whatever. Content Creator of the Year. I and Roger picked Alana Pierce. Jake picked Valkyrie. The winner was Valkyrie. Do not underestimate the simps.
No, I told you.
I guess so. People say for Alana too.
I still think like Alana should have won it, but you know what? Can't beat fucking boobs, I guess.
Also, it's not Valkyrie.
Because that's the thing about Alana. She doesn't do that like girl thing. She's not like, oh, pretty. I gotta dress up all pretty, put my makeup on and shit like that.
The problem is she also has like really smart and intelligent discussions, and people aren't about that. They're about the pretty colors.
Yeah. And that's what I've only seen a little of Valkyrie's, Valkyrie, whatever.
I don't like at all, but like, I don't know.
Oh, Jake does. Jake subbed to her on YouTube.
Yeah.
Like
play Among Us.
Jake is a fan of her, so.
Jake.
Simp. No, I'm playing with you.
You're the one with the girlfriend, Andrew. You're the ultimate simp.
I know, terrible. But yeah, she won that. So, whatever. Whatever. I still think Alano deserved it, but that's just me. Well, I guess you picked up too, Roger.
Listen, this whole thing, it's not about who deserves
I
it.
was like,
I know it's a popularity
Who
contest.
actually is going to win it?
I know. For best multiplayer, me and Roger picked Call of Duty. Jake picked Among Us. The winner was Among Us. And you
that's
know what?
crazy.
It's like Jake said, because I was sitting there being like, that's fucking stupid, because Among Us is not a good game. And it's like what Jake was saying was like, well, it's a popularity thing. What's the big thing right now? Among Us is the big thing. I'm like, you're fucking right, but it's still stupid.
I know. I mean, I like playing Among Us, but I don't think that should have. I'm not saying like Call of Duty is like the best one, but I'm saying I don't know if Among Us should have been the one to win.
Like, it's not a. I mean, personally, just looking at the game, I get that it's popular and I get that it's fun to play with friends, but as a game, I don't believe it's a good game.
But that's what it is. It's like it's
Age
multiplayer,
is
like about having fun with your friends. I think it's the one most people had fun with. Also, I don't know. I think I'm happy for the team. I think they.
I am happy for the team.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, I mean, yeah, of course.
It's an awesome moment for them.
Yeah, for the team, sure. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I still don't think it's the best multiplayer. Like, by far.
Out of the nominees, I think it's.
There's not even in-game voice chat. Like,
but you have the text option.
There's in-game chat. It's not voice chat.
voice chat.
The thing is, it's a very low budget production. It wasn't even like something that even people played until this year, and it's 2 years old. And with them focusing on adding to it, I'm assuming we're going to get a lot of more stuff for it.
It's the whole
game chat eventually.
It's the age-old argument of like, what does even like what is like best multiplayer of the year even mean? Does it mean like technical best multiplayer? Does it mean like who did it the best? Does it mean like what were the best experience? It's subjective. It's like whatever you think of it. And for most people it is, or most voters, it was like, oh, this is the one that, hey, I had fun playing this, so I'll pick that one. It's why Phasmophobia won Best Debut Game, even though Phasmophobia was probably the worst game on that list. Like, technically speaking, that game is broken. Mm-hmm. Like, it is not a good game, but it's the one most people played and had fun with, so it won. And it's the same thing with Among Us.
I'm about to start playing it, so I guess it won me over.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same thing with like the movie rewards when you get to like the family stuff. Like those old people aren't going to watch it. They're going to be like, what Disney movie came out the year?
Exactly. So, best sports and racing game, we all picked Tony Hawk, and the winner was Tony Hawk. Pretty easy one. Best sim strategy game. This one, I will admit, kind of annoyed me.
Yeah.
I picked Gears Tactics, Jake picked Flight Sim, and Roger picked Crusader Kings. Flight Sim won, and again, I think it's because no one played the other stuff. Like, I played Flight Simulator, and it's not a good game. It's not
the best game.
It's broken. It doesn't. It's so simple, but it doesn't work. But the thing is, that's probably the game that people knew about. Like, no one talked about Gears Tactics. No one plays Crusader Kings unless you're a nerd like me. Like,
hey, that's what I picked.
Exactly.
That's what
you nerd
on YouTube was playing. That's what everyone was streaming because it was.
It's Flight.
It was like, oh, cool. It's like
it's
real
also,
world. You can fly around.
Well, it's also an old franchise that is coming back and things. So, it's popular.
And it's coming to Xbox Series X.
But I'm just telling you right now, Crusader Kings 3, way better. Way better.
I'm sure.
But yeah, so. Best family, we all picked Animal Crossing. Of course, Animal Crossing won.
Yay.
Best fighting, we all picked Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat won. Best role-playing game, this one was a little like, I don't know. Me and Roger picked Final Fantasy VII. Jake picked Persona 5 Royale. The winner was Final Fantasy VII. Mm-hmm. I think Persona 5, there's a good argument to be made that it's better, but at the same time, it's also like Persona 5 Royale is more of an expansion. It's a hell of a good expansion, but it's like, I don't know.
Oh, and the thing is, too, it's kind of like earlier. It's like, did Among Us deserve it? I don't know. Or it does not necessarily what's the better game. It's what was the biggest one.
Yeah, and Persona 5 Royale was still big. It's
not Final Fantasy VII big, though.
Well, it's not Final Fantasy 7 big, and it wasn't even Persona 5 big. Like it
No.
didn't make an impact like Persona 5 did.
Because I think people saw it what it was.
Yeah, it's like it's DLC.
Mm-hmm.
Even me, a big Persona fan, was kind of playing like, guys, it's 2020. Why the fuck are you still releasing a $60 game for added on content? And I understand,
Even
like,
Pokemon doesn't do that anymore.
I understand that they added a lot of content, but like at the end of the day, we got things for like Witcher 3, like well, what was it called? Like Blood and Wine or something, which you could have
Great.
done like a Witcher 3 Royale version, or you
Mhm.
could have done what they did and just release it as DLC. A lot easier. And you probably would have made more money too, honestly. So
I think it would have been cooler if they had released Royale as add-on
me too.
and a standalone release. But
Yeah, give
I
people the option.
kind of get it a little bit because the first Persona 5 was a PS3 game that was ported to 4, and this is a full-on PS4 version, is I think what they're going for.
I don't know. I mean, this is what they've always done. They did it with 3, they did it with 4, they're going to do it with 5.
Yeah.
So,
And then with 6.
Maybe. Yeah. But yeah, if I'm fancy on that. Now this is where we started getting into a little ridiculousness. Best action adventure game. I picked Ghost of Tsushima. Jake picked Star Wars. Oh, that was Jedi, right?
Yeah. Fallen Order.
Yeah. And then Roger, you picked Assassin's Creed Valhalla. The winner was The Last of Us Part 2.
Really?
Don't know why.
Because it was in the category.
And this is a big, I guess you could say, controversy. I think it's more complaining, but it is with things like this where it's like, it's kind of stupid that The Last of Us won this. Like, yeah. I'm not saying it's a bad action adventure game, but like, The Last of Us is good for the story.
I mean, that's a hard genre to find, to be fair. You know what I mean?
It is. But like, I don't know. When I would say that I had more fun in Ghost of Tsushima and Star Wars, like playing the game, doing the action, exploring around, than I did in The Last of Us Part 2.
Just Tsushima and Valhalla most of all.
Where's the adventure in a linear game?
Exactly, yeah. Like there's no adventure there. And then the action, like the combat is good. The combat's good in The Last of Us Part 2, but like it's not fucking Star Wars.
Yeah.
Still have an adventure walking that line. It's still there.
You know, you do a little zigzag sometimes, bounce back and forth.
Yeah.
You run in a circle.
Sometimes I go in this house, the other time I went to that house.
I think defining action adventure, if you just take it for like that, like it's action adventure, like I think Ghost of Tsushima and Star Wars, and maybe even Assassin's Creed to that point are better than The Last of Us Part 2. But that's what won. Best action game, I picked Hades. You guys picked Doom. The winner was Hades. I figured that this was going to win it because they wanted to give Hades something, and this was the one to do it. So
I can't believe they gave all the other popularity contests and then screwed my boy Doom.
I know.
Doom didn't win anything.
I know. Sad.
Most people forgot it came out this year. So innovation and accessibility, we all picked The Last of Us. The winner was The Last of Us Part 2, which I do agree with that one.
The first one.
That game was crazy innovative in its accessibility. It had pages and pages and pages of different things, different ways like button prompts were used, different like color things, lighting things like that, text things. So best VR AR, I picked Star Wars. Jake picked Half-Life. Roger picked Dreams. The winner was Half-Life.
Of course.
I don't know why I didn't pick Half-Life.
I didn't think Dreams would win. I think I just wanted to pick Dreams.
Yeah.
I was like, oh.
It would have been cool to see Dreams win because like Dreams is so unique because it's like a creative sandbox thing, but it was going to be Half-Life. It's the cyberpunk effect. Like, that it's a Half-Life. We love Half-Life. It's like, do you love Half-Life? You just think you love Half-Life. But
it's a solid VR game too.
Except I know 0 people that have played it, honestly.
Well, yeah, because you have to have like ridiculous specs to play it.
Yeah, so like I don't know. I bet you the people. I bet more people that voted for this played Dreams than Half-Life, but I bet you most people voted for Half-Life because it's Half-Life. So
I mean, I saw gameplay for it, and from what I saw, I was like, that looks a lot more fun than the other ones.
It looks
That's
fun.
True. That the streamers play a big role too because you can still
true.
watch somebody else playing it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just like the name per se, but you have been able to watch someone experience it.
I still think it's the name. If that same exact game was called, I don't know, Alex's Adventure or something, I don't think it would have won anything. Best community support is the next one.
Alex is mature.
I don't know. I picked Destiny 2. Jake and Roger picked No Man's Sky. The winner was Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout. Did it see? I'll be honest. That one fucking threw me for a tizzy. Like I did not see that coming. But I guess
thought No Man's Sky had that one.
Honestly, I did too. I think Destiny 2 deserved it most because that game. I think the problem is that game is so in its own its echo chamber. Like they're just doing their own thing now.
Mm-hmm.
But
like I kind of respect it for it, but it's really hard to jump into.
Mm-hmm. Oh, definitely, yeah. Like jumping in Destiny 2 now is like crazy. But No Man's Sky, I think, probably should have won it. I can't believe Fall Guys won it. That's crazy.
I was like, okay.
I think they just wanted to give something to Fall Guys because it was big this year.
Yeah, because it definitely deserved something.
Best mobile game, I picked Genshin Impact. Jake picked Among Us. Roger picked Call of Duty. The winner was Among Us. Again, I don't think it deserved it. Again, I understand it's the most popular one, but when you're talking about like the best mobile game, technically speaking, Genshin Impact and Call of Duty blow Among Us out of the water. Among Us is the most simple, brain dead game in the world, but it's a popularity contest, so you know. But I think I honestly believe Genshin Impact got robbed. How big that game was this year and how amazing it looked on mobile. Like I didn't play it on mobile, but I had a friend at my old job that did, and I looked over. I was like, that game looks amazing on there. Like, if you guys ever get the chance, download it on mobile just to see what it looks like. It's fucking impressive how great and that game looks and runs. So like, I don't know. I think it got robbed, but no one else seemed to care. So you know,
yeah.
The next category was Best Indie. I picked Hades. Jake picked Hades. Roger picked Splunky 2. The winner was Hades. So I guess Hades won 2 of them.
Mm-hmm.
I think the problem with Splunky 2 was just too quiet. Not enough people talked about it.
I remember there's a lot of buzz when it first came out. So I thought,
I remember hearing a little bit about it, but it kind of just faded away.
Well, and it was earlier in the year too.
Yeah, it was, and that also affects it. Best ongoing game. I picked Destiny 2. Jake picked No Man's Sky. Roger picked Call of Duty. The winner was No Man's Sky. This one was hilarious because Sean Murray was there and he absolutely was drunk and not ready.
Yeah.
It's fucking hilarious when they turned to him. He was like, "What? We won."
He did like a double take. Like he sat straight up in his chair and was like, "Oh,
good for them though." I'm so happy that they won because fucking Hello Games deserves it. Mm-hmm. They really do.
They stuck in that game. I mean, sure, it came out broken, but like
it didn't even come out broken. It just came out not what they said it was. But they stuck with it and they made it better than what they promised it would be, and it's fucking awesome now. And I'm so glad that people respect it now, and they've really because that's a small team. Hello Games is a small team. They made fucking Joe Danger before No Man's Sky. Like they're not a big team, but they stuck around and. Good for them and good for Sean Murray too. Like people gave him a lot of shit and stuff, but like, you know, I'm happy about that one. I'm glad about that one. Next one, Games for Impact. Me and Roger picked Tell Me Why, and Jake picked If Found. The winner was Tell Me Why.
Yeah, I hadn't heard of any of these games. So.
I can't believe you haven't heard of Tell Me Why. That's crazy. It's a big thing, Xbox thing. Best performance. We all picked Ashley Johnson as Ellie. Fucking Laura Bailey. Laura Bailey won because she has friends in high places.
I like Laura Bailey though, so I'm not too mad.
Yeah, I'm honestly kind of okay with that.
I like Laura Bailey. Laura Bailey had a million performances that she was great in this year. Ashley Johnson fucking killed it. And I mean, kill. And you know what? And I don't even know if you guys know this scene because I don't think either of you played The Last of Us Part 2. But there's one scene. There's one that just gives Ashley Johnson the medal 5 times out of 5, 1,000 times out of 1,000. There's a part where Ellie is chasing down Abby's friends. So, and it's funny because Abby was played by Laura Bailey. But she's chasing down her friends, and she goes to this hospital part, and she's chasing this one lady because she's trying to find out where Abby is. And they go into like this basement. And there's the spores in there. Now, if you recall in Last of Us Land, the spores are like they poison you,
Yeah.
they kill you.
Yeah.
And she chases her down there, and she starts coughing and dying. And then Ellie's just standing there, and she's like, "You're not. What the hell? You're not dying or whatever." And she's like, "No, I'm immune." And they're like, "So you're the one." And Ellie's standing there, and it's like all in red, and she's just staring at her. And she has this axe in her hand. She's like, "You're gonna tell me where she is, and if you don't, I'm gonna make this last a lot longer." And that scene, like, look it up on YouTube. It is fucking amazing.
I know what scene you're talking about. I know what scene you're talking about. The thing about The Last of Us that kind of makes it hard is they all really do a good job, and they all play off of one another and enhance
Mhm.
one another as performers. So, I mean,
Know what I think it was? I think it was a
tough.
pity vote because Laura Bailey got so much shit from people, and
Yeah, and
it was fucked
undeserved
up.
shit.
It was fucked up
Yeah.
how much shit she got for playing a character.
She
But
really shouldn't. She did a good job too, like
oh yeah,
voice
she did
acting wise.
great. Like I don't hate her at all. I think she did fantastic. I don't like the character for different reasons, but like the performance was amazing, and like she was great in it. But she got harassed, death threats, like so much shit. And honestly, that's probably why Last of Us won so many awards that it did, was because of all that shit that got thrown at it.
Yeah, I mean
But
that's why I'm also kind of okay with her winning because I do think she deserved some recognition for that, not hate.
yeah, I do too. But I also think that Ashley Johnson should have won. But that's
Which is I did too. I think she does an amazing job.
if I had to guess what the top two were, it was probably them two. Like if I had to guess. But yeah, either way. But we didn't get any points for that, sadly. Best audio design. Me and Roger picked Ghost of Tsushima. Jake picked Doom. The winner, The Last of Us Part 2. Not sure. That's another one of those where I'm like, what? What? Ghost of Tsushima should have won that. Like, come on. The nature sounds alone were like so fucking good, but whatever.
All the stuff he did with like the sheathing the blade and all that.
Yeah, it's so cool. And
Mhm.
the flute playing and just the wind and it's so good. But I guess The Last of Us 2 did have dogs yelping when they died or whatever. So
Charlie.
or whatever.
Best score and music, we all picked Final Fantasy, and of course Final Fantasy 1.
Mhm.
Best art direction, I picked The Last of Us. You both picked Ori. The winner was Ghost of Tsushima, and of course it was. I should have picked Ghost of Tsushima.
I'm kind of surprised they didn't give it to Ori, but I'm guessing this was so Ghost could have an award because
Honestly,
it deserved other awards that it
well,
didn't get.
well, I think what it was, and it's like I said when we were doing our predictions, was Ori 2. It's beautiful, but it looks like Ori 1. Like something looks amazing, but 4 years later, it's like, yeah, that's amazing, but I've seen it for 4 years. Like Ori 2 looks good, but it's still Ori. Like, and also, I don't feel like a lot of people talked about the Will of the Wisp. It just kind of came and went. So,
Yeah, but it was still pretty.
No, it was pretty, but I think Ghost of Tsushima, especially running on PS4, was fucking gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
Like that game looks amazing. So, it could have been a toss up between either of those. Not Last of Us. I don't know why I picked Last of Us. Because it looked realistic and it looked like it was amazing looking. So yeah, best narrative. I picked The Last of Us. You both picked Ghost of Tsushima. The winner was The Last of Us. Not sure what you guys were thinking. Ghost of Tsushima didn't.
I didn't think Last of Us 2 would win every single other award too.
I tried telling you guys, Ghost of Tsushima, the story was serviceable at best. It wasn't that great. Like, it was fine, but it was nothing memorable. I can't even tell you half the characters' names. Best game direction, me and Roger picked Final Fantasy. Jake picked Ghost of Tsushima. Winner was Last of Us Part 2. This is where it starts sweeping. Yeah, I know. I don't know. It's at this point, I don't know. And then game of the year, fucking makes me laugh every time. I picked Last of Us. Jake picked Animal Crossing, and Roger picked Ghost of Tsushima. And the winner was Last of Us. Was Last of Us Part 2. I think with that
Didn't
one,
Neil Druckmann get, like, promoted or something?
Huh?
I heard something about Neil Druckmann getting promoted or something
yeah, he
from
did get he did get promoted. He's like studio head now or something. I
crazy.
think all in all,
I mean, he directs good games. I still like him quite a
yeah,
bit.
I agree. Yeah, he makes good games. I think all in all, if we count Laura Bailey's win, Last of Us won 7 awards, the most any game has ever won.
And they're gonna
That's
put every
actually
one of those
crazy.
awards on the box.
They will probably.
Oh yeah.
And honestly, I think there's an argument to be made that it doesn't deserve 7 awards, but I think there's a damn good argument to be made that it does deserve all those rewards because at the
Yeah,
end of
you
the
can
day,
make the argument. It's a really well made game,
yeah,
and it's really a lot of craft and hard work was put into it.
and
So
I
I'm not
think
really
and I
but
think the big problem is people are taking their own like subjective how they feel about the story
oh,
because when you're reviewing a movie or a game,
I think this was also kind of like a fuck you to them. Like we're gonna give them all these awards, just
no,
to,
I think so as well. Yeah, I think the fan reaction made them be like, "You're not going to bully us. Like that's not going to fly." And we're just fine. We'll let them win everything. So, yeah. And our total points at the end, I had 15 points.
ooh,
Jake also had 15 points,
oh no,
and Roger had
uh-oh.
8 points. I
I
could
was
not
close.
believe that me and Jake tied at 15.
If I wouldn't have gone for the meme and game of the year, I could have
Dude, if
beat.
I wouldn't have been stupid and put fucking Half-Life as best VR, what
Yeah,
Star Wars game did I even put as VR? I don't even know what Star Wars game I'm thinking of.
Squadrons.
Squadrons,
Squadrons,
something
that
like
game
it.
sucks.
Yeah, that's why I was like, why
Yeah,
are you doing that? And they're like, but they did the VR really cool, and I'm like, yeah, but not Half-Life cool.
Yeah, I know you're right. It's easily Half-Life. Easily, I don't know.
I tried to tell you.
I don't know.
I
Fucking
don't know.
stupid.
I made that list, so I can't really defend a lot of my choices.
Also, Alana should. I don't know. There's quite a few of them, but yep, that
Alana,
is.
I feel like she was definitely the best.
I agree. I agree. So there you have it. Those are your winners for the Game Awards 2020, and there are total points. It ended in a tie, which means we'll have to come back next year and try again. I was telling Jake that I think next year it'd be a little fun if we also did like announcement predictions, like do that for points as well. Be like what we think will be announced. So like we each pick like 3 things we'll think will happen. Um, I think that'd be a little fun thing to do as well. But we will do that next year. We're going to move on to our free games for the month. We already did this, but I want to let everyone know a little PSA that the Epic Game Store is bringing back its 12 Days of Christmas game giveaway. Between December 17th and the 31st, the Epic Game Store will be giving out a free game a day in celebration of the holidays. So make sure you log in every day and claim your free game. That means on December 17th, they'll offer a free game and it's up for 24 hours. After that 24 hours, it will be gone and a new one will replace it. So if you win all of them, you got to log in every day and claim your free game. And they're usually good ones too. So
Yeah. Last week was Cave Story Plus.
Yep. And this week they gave out like the first Pillars of Eternity game. Like they give out good games. So make sure you're always checking with the Epic Game Store. Just redeem them. Like
The first one they did was Grand Theft Auto 5, which, say what you will about Grand Theft Auto 5, but that's a pretty big one.
pretty big one, yeah. Pretty good game.
Mm-hmm.
And now we are going to move on to our new big releases of the week. See, I told you guys those 3 topics were going to last a while. We're already over 2 hours.
Here we go.
For 3 topics. Tradition dictates that Jake starts first.
All right. Our first big release this week was CyberPunk 2077.
That's
for
broken.
Xbox One, Xbox Series X, PS4, PS5, Stadia, and PC. Cyberpunk 2077 is an open-world action-adventure story set in Night City, a megalopolis obsessed with power, glamour, and body modification. You play as V, a mercenary outlaw going after a one-of-a-kind implant that is likely the key to immortality.
It didn't say likely. It just says that is the key to immortality. Thank
I like how
you.
you're like super force guys to just going to the Grace or Graham fitness test.
Thank you for not using that voice the whole time, though.
I debated.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, we already talked extensively about this. I would not recommend buying this game right now.
Yeah. I'd wait till next year.
Yeah. When the game, did you guys see? I don't know. I think it was a Mega 64 video or something. But Jake, you might have actually showed me it also, where it was like, "You fool! You didn't buy it on the play date. You bought it on the release date." Did you guys see that video?
Oh no, I didn't see that one. But I'm just
Oh,
like,
it's fucking hilarious because, well, actually, there's two I saw. So there's one video that was like 7.5, where it's talking about like, "You gave it a 7.5. I can't believe you. You fucking suck. 7.5." And then like have this scene where like the dude's on the beach with the girl's like, "I love you, but you gave it a 7.5." Pulls out a gun and shoots him. It's fucking hilarious. And then the other one I saw, and these were both in relationship to Cyberpunk. And maybe they were old videos, but people were posting them for Cyberpunk, and it was like, "You idiot! You bought the game on release date. Everyone knows you wait till the play date." It's like, what's that? Well, games come out broken and unfinished now, so you got to wait 6 months till the play date, bro. Whoa, this is really funny. So I was thinking, like, yeah, don't buy it till the play date because right now this is release date.
like you say those are funny videos, but I've
They're
talked to
true.
many people in real life that have that same sentiment.
No, it's true though. Because it's like in the video, they're like, "So wait, why would you buy it on release date?" "Oh, well, you see, you give money to the corporations, and that's it." It's like, oh, I totally get it now. you give money for an unfinished game, and you get nothing in return. So it's like, oh,
Andromeda, that was never
yeah,
finished.
nope. But yeah. So, anyways, yeah, Cyberpunk. Roger, you got the next one.
Okie doke.
I thought he was gone for a second.
Metal. Nope, I'm right here. If you're ready for me to talk now, before I was really interrupted.
Hi,
I mean, I started talking before you did, but you know,
Jake. Let him talk.
You didn't. I was talking.
no, that's fine.
Medal of Honor Above and Beyond for Oculus. Is it Vive or Vive?
Vive.
Okay, Vive and Index. Take the fight to war-torn Europe in Medal of Honor Above and Beyond. The franchise returned to its roots, complete with a deep single-player campaign, multiplayer modes, and powerful interviews with survivors and veterans of the Second World War. I've seen some of those. They're actually kind of interesting.
Yeah, so I'm really interested in this game. I'm gonna get it once I have a little bit more extra cash. But I was reading reviews and things, and so the main complaints are that the VR functionality isn't the best because this was made by Respawn, and this is their first VR game. It kind of has the production there, like the big set pieces, but the levels are weird. It's like kind of like you play a 10-minute action piece, loading screen, cutscene, 10-minute action piece, loading screen, cutscene, 10-minute action piece, and it's all very loosely strung together. It's more like a whole bunch of vignettes instead of an actual cohesive story. So that was one thing. The multiplayer is fine. It's just like shoot at each other. But that one thing where it had like the interviews with survivors and veterans, it's kind of like if you guys ever saw Band of Brothers where they have the interviews at the beginning. It's like that where you're in this room, it's just a dark room, and then it has the person they're interviewing, and they're just giving an interview about like, what it was like. And I heard that those are really cool and like really powerful and things like that. So
I watched a couple online, and they are pretty good. That was my favorite part about Band of Brothers was the
mine
interviews they
too.
had with people.
I remember at the end, like if you bought the whole CD set, they had a CD that was just the interviews for an hour and a half. I remember being like a kid, being like, "Fuck yeah, I'm gonna watch this." Are you kidding me? This is awesome. So
I will say, I didn't know Respawn had anything to do with that. Which that's
yeah, they
kind of
made it.
exciting if they make like a full fledged like regular Medal of Honor game. That could be pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm wondering if this was like a test bed. Like, hey, because this was both Respawn, EA, and Oculus. They all three made this together. And first off, I'm hoping that it sells well. It has mixed reviews right now, but I'm hoping like enough is there where they're like, okay, let's go back and do this for real.
Mm-hmm.
Or not even for real, because I think they did it for real. I think they put a lot of effort and time into it, but I think they wanted to get a lot of those, like, oh, wouldn't it be cool if you were a paratrooper, or wouldn't it be cool if you were in D-Day, or wouldn't it be cool if you're on a tank?
Mhm.
They wanted to do everything that was in VR, and like everything that was in the war is cool, but it doesn't really make a story. So maybe now they can go back and be like, okay, well, we did all these things. What things really worked? Can we make a story around this thing as Medal of Honor? I think that'd
And
be
I
really
also think like game design for VR is still in its infancy, so a lot of people, if they haven't done anything with it, they don't really know what to do. So they're like, "Oh, this is a cool VR experience.
Mhm.
We'll do
Yeah,
that.
I
Make
mean,
that
that
amazing."
just it being VR, as VR, as somebody that isn't experienced or used to VR yet, it sounds attracting based off that alone.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that Jake, actually, that's the thing that I also heard, was that the design feels dated for VR, which dated is 3 years ago. But
Yeah.
it's such a fast evolving medium that like these guys have never done VR before, so
Well,
it
it's
feels
like
like
when you stack it up against Half-Life, like how can anything else compare?
exactly, like they are comparing to Half-Life, which that is a fair comparison because that is a new VR game. This is a new VR game. It's like you compare it to new things.
Yeah.
So I think the game's good. All I've heard is that I haven't heard anything like terrible about it or bad about it. Just as kind of like, it's like, it's cool in some areas. Interviews are really cool. The gameplay is like, so. But I think it's worth it. And that's what I've heard most people say, is it's worth it. So I'm still excited and interested to play it. Also, I want to jump out of a fucking plane and land on DJ. That sounds awesome. So
Dude, wouldn't it be great? Because I haven't played it, but like if you that mission where you jump out of the plane, like your chute doesn't deploy, and
oh
you're
my
like
gosh,
struggling
that'd be
getting
so
it to
cool.
deploy as you're falling.
You're just like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit.
You keep pulling different strings and nothing happens. One time, like a bunch of cans fly out of your backpack.
Fucking Looney Tune. All right, moving on. I didn't realize this game released. Okay, so I got something to say after this. But our next title is Puyo Puyo Tetris 2 for PS4, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, and Switch, PS5 backwards compatibility. Japan's beloved puzzle game series Puyo Puyo and the world-renowned Tetris registered trademark game franchise have teamed up again to deliver even more Puyo popping and
Tetramino.
Tetramino. I had a little stutter there. Clearing fun in Puyo Puyo Tetris 2. Playing is easy. Match 4 or more same colored Puyos or complete a line of blocks to clear them from your board and dump garbage into your opponent's game. But keep an eye on what's coming your way too.
I love the first
So
Puyo Tetris.
Andrew,
I,
have you ever played Puyo Puyo Tetris?
I have. I kept
Okay,
hearing about
because
Puyo Puyo Tetris.
you two specifically are the only people I know on the planet that's played this game.
Have you? Have you played it?
No, I've never played this game. You guys are the only people I know that's played this game.
All right, so here's the thing.
Puyo Puyo Tetris.
It was a launch game for Switch,
Mhm.
so that's why we got it.
I know, and you two are still the only people I know. I know a bunch of people got a Switch, and I know a bunch of people that got it on launch day.
But
And you two are still the only people I know
it's fucking
that's
awesome.
played that game.
Yeah,
It's
I
a
love
great
Puyo
game.
Puyo. I love
Here's the
Tetris.
thing.
Better than both.
I didn't realize that Puyo Puyo Tetris 2 was A, a thing,
Mm-hmm.
B, releasing right now, C, on new consoles. I thought I saw Puyo Puyo being a Tetris being advertised for like PS4 and Xbox One, so I was like, oh, they're porting it. The Switch version, they're porting it. But no, it's the second game, and and it came to Switch as well. And I'm thinking now, like, how the fuck do you make a sequel to it? Like, it's Puyo Puyo Tetris.
It's
Like
the story mode.
the story mode. Are people really clamoring for the story of Puyo Puyo Tetris 2?
Well, yeah, it's the converging of universes between the Puyo universe and the Tetris universe, and they all have their own unique characters.
I don't know. It's
That's where the two comes from. Is that
well, no, I know, but I'm like, you know
Also,
what I mean? Like, how the fuck do you make a sequel to Tetris? Which I know there's a billion Tetris games, but like,
have you not played Tetris 2?
what this is saying is like, it's easy. Match 4 or more same color Poyos or line of blocks and then dump garbage. That's the first game.
Yeah.
Like, for someone that, I mean, this is great for people like Roger that have heard of Puyo Puyo Tetris. Like, oh, maybe I want to check that out. The second one just came out. I'll get that one because it'll probably be better. But for people like you and me, I see zero reason to go buy this game. Zero.
If you're invested in the story, buy it.
No one's invested in the story.
Um,
I'm willing to bet that people that made the game aren't invested in the story.
What are you talking about? Have you not been keeping up?
No one cares.
Listen, if you're not part of
You
the
can buy the
Puyo
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 Tetris wiki, I don't know what
graphic
you're talking about.
action series that go between them.
Have you not watched the cinematic universe Tetris and Puyo movies? The big crossover? Puyo
I'm
Puyo Tetris
Watch the
Endgame?
six episode limited time anime series where it makes the connection.
Yeah,
watched the 3 OVAs.
those are deleted now. You can't watch them anywhere. They actually erased it from everything in existence, even the internet.
Oh my.
So
The Puyo Police came after it. All right, well, yeah, Puyo Puyo Tetris 2 is coming out. The first one was good, so this one's probably good too. Go get it. Jake, you want to do our last one?
yes, and finally, we're ending today with Doom Eternal's long-awaited release on the Switch finally coming to fruition. Doom Eternal, the award-winning game and, quote, one of the best first-person shooters ever, end quote, according to Game Revolution, is coming to Nintendo Switch. Developed by id Software and Panic Button, Doom Eternal is the direct sequel to Doom Register trademark, winner of the Game Awards Best Action Game of 2016. Hell's armies have invaded Earth, become the Slayer, in an epic single-player campaign to conquer demons across dimensions and stop the final destruction of humanity. The only thing they fear is you.
Didn't win Best Action Game of 2020. That went to The Last of Us Part 2.
Yeah, yeah, it did.
Ouch.
I can't imagine that this is a good way to play this game.
Also, things may have changed, but I read it's only available digitally. They did not make a physical release for this.
That sounds about right, because I didn't hear anything about physical.
Because they were going to have a physical release and then they canceled it.
Probably because no one cared.
Yeah. And I think the only reason it came out on Switch is because they promised it on Switch.
Yep, I think so
I
too.
don't know how it runs. I don't know how it looks. Probably looks as good as the first one.
Just like any other fucking port, probably not good.
I
I
it's
think
probably going to be the definitive way to play Doom Eternal.
literally
PS5 or Xbox Series X.
every port, even old games like LA Noire, I don't think any port has been like good. I think everyone's had to be like, oh, this is fine.
Yeah, it's portable now.
But I don't think any of them have been good ports. But, you know, that's a whole bag of worms that we could get into later, which we will one day, I'm sure. All right, well, there's your big releases of the week. Honestly, this is kind of a rough one. I guess Medal of Honor if you have VR. If not, Puyo Tetris.
Puyo Tetris 2.
I don't recommend Doom Eternal on Switch. Go play that on a new gen console or PC.
Yeah, it's going to be $60 on the Switch, and I believe I've seen Doom Eternal go down to like $16 for PS4 and Xbox.
Yeah, money and performance wise, get on something else. And then CyberPunk, we've already said ad nauseum that it's broken. Don't buy it right now. Yeah, I don't know. I guess
if you got PC, you're better off. Don't buy it on console.
Buy it on Stadia. I guess
a PC that can run it at better than recommended settings.
Yep.
Or Stadia.
Better. You need better than recommended. Yeah, or play old games. You know, those are still there too. You got a backlog. We know you do.
Play the MS-DOS Cyberpunk game.
If you're a big enough nerd to listen to this podcast, we know you got a backlog. So go play those right now.
Load up your Commodore 64 and play some Hercules.
Boom. There you go. All right. Well, do you guys have any ending questions or discussion?
Oh,
okay. No.
No.
Roger, you always go with the long pauses.
He said no.
What?
No, I heard him, but I'm just like, you always go for the long pauses, Roger.
Okay. Well,
leave us all in suspense.
All right. I'm just going to end it. Well, with that in mind, thank you so much for everyone listening to this extra long episode of the podcast. This might be our longest episode yet, boys. Remember, if you like what we're doing here, make sure to give us a positive rating on iTunes or Google Podcasts or wherever else you listen to the show. Make sure you check out the YouTube channel, youtube.com/Andrew, where where full recordings of this podcast are uploaded along with all my other videos that I make, but I don't really make any other videos right now. But, you know, I got ideas throwing in my mind all the time. Jake, thank you so much for joining me. And Roger, thank you so much for joining me. I know it's late. It's 1:30 a.m. I got work tomorrow. I got to get up at 7. It's going to be a fun day. But, yeah, a lot of good news, a lot of good stuff talking about. I kind of forgot how I end the show. I'm being honest. I kind of forgot what else I say.
Do we have a definitive way to end the show?
No, I just kind of fucking bullshit it every time. Like, thank you so much for listening and things like that. I hope you all have a good week. Yeah, and that's it. go check out our episodes. Goodbye.
Oh, Roger.
Bye.
Wait, Roger. Oh,
What?
oh. We were still recording.
Yeah. Are you
Yeah.
gonna say bye?
Bye. Later,
When?
guys. Later, skaters.
So now, Roger, I feel like we got to redo that. Like I feel like
Yeah,
everyone's got to say bye in a
we
row.
do. I I forgot how we ended the show. So
I mean, I'm leaving all this in either way because
okay.
I said bye. Roger said bye, but you went.
Yeah.
So okay, everyone have a good week. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.